Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the grand finals of Season 8 here of the UPL Dota Underlords finals. Yeah, Season 8, damn, it certainly went by real quick, and God, Thursday's patch, oh, I'm so excited to talk about it, but to talk about it with me today will be a fresh new face, a fresh new name, and the doctor is in. Dr. Heckle of Reddit fame going to be joining us here today, and we're going to be talking up a storm. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine. It's a pleasure to be here, Jester. I don't know if of Reddit fame is more of a derogatory or an
Oh,
honorific
man.
at this point,
Only
but
like Kanye West and Elon Musk can ever say the same thing.
oh, great company, Jester. Just making me feel great on this debut sort of casting situation. I'm really excited for this. It's been a long season. Can't believe we've already had 8 of these.
Yeah, where does the time go, right?
Where does it? Well, if being sequestered at home for the pandemic here in America has taught me anything, time is fake, and everything's relative. So I'm excited. I'm excited to cast in on these finals, to join you, and get some good Underlords going.
Yeah, I mean, like, with all the pandemic out there, we might be doctoring footage there, but now we got the doctor here for Underlord. So you know what? It goes very well together. We are into our first lobby, but we do have a few moments before I believe the rest of the players do join us. Yeah, they're just trickling in. A few moments, not bad. But top 32, not entirely too sure how many of the top 32 are actually joining us today. We do have our alternates and our subs, but it should be a full 32 lobby. No bots here today. Winner takes all by the end of it. I believe top 4 pay out. And then, we just rinse, repeat. Maybe we have a special event next week. But, before we get into that, Doc, I was lamenting last weekend because last weekend we had the last round and there was no patch. There was no new 3 stars, no new balances. Like, all right, whatever they got for us, it's going to be great. And the grand finals are going to be amazing. And then they dropped a patch on us, and I am, like, really excited about some of it. But tell me about a few of the highlights that you think are worth following today.
I want to see Morphling.
Morphling.
I want to see a 3-star morph. I want to see some crazy stuff because I've seen some of these posts on Reddit of people with these like 16,000 health 3-star morphlings that copy the whole enemy team. There's a champion on the other team, so they become a champion, so they get all of those allied bonuses,
Sure.
and they just turn into these monster truck units. That's what I'm most excited to see. Mage comps are always fun because of like the sort of potential for this sort of burst beatdown. You've got 3-star CMs in the mix now with more spells from the cooldown reduction. I'm really excited for that.
So mages have typically been 1 to 2 players in all of our lobbies. Sometimes they win, sometimes they go out last. It happens. 3-star CM is really like the big cornerstone of a lot of those comps. And now with Morphling getting that 3-star, like, what gives it 16,000 health? Brawnies don't really exist much anymore.
Right. After that patch that changed how brawny health is calculated and makes it dependent on star rating versus just sort of like net health, where you can have like a 1-star bristleback with like 8,000 health or something.
I mean, that was the dream.
We've seen a lot. I've seen a lot less of those, both in tournaments and just sort of in my big boss lobbies. And on bristleback, it's going to be. Maybe we see some brawnies today because that 3-star for bristleback is no slouch either.
Well, Savage Summoner had quite the showing last weekend. There were several people per match, especially the first 10 rounds. Before you get into that Underlord status, so many Savage Summoners out there. So now, perhaps we might actually see somebody finish into a bristleback because it's not a very popular Savage unit to go with Savage Summoner. That might change. That could be fun.
Right, yeah, so a lot of the Savage Summoner builds that I see usually cap out at Force Savages. It's usually Tusk getting excluded and then Bristleback, because without the Savage, he sort of loses that chuff to be able to constantly produce damage from the Quill stacks. Plus, you want the Sand King to round out your usual sort of Druid Summoner pairings with your Lycans, your Magnuses, your Lone Druids. And I think we're going, I really truly think that now with Arc Warden still back to his former beta glory with item copying at 3 stars, we're going to see a lot of Summoner. I think that that's a really, really powerful comp. The Druids, the Summoners, the Savages. But, I mean, hey, maybe we see a 6 Savage, a really tall build today.
I mean,
That new 3-star.
they do exist. They're just kind of, like they're like Mewtwo's. They're super rare. You just never get to see them much at all. Okay, we got everyone good. Standard, private, humans only. Our first round, Group A, round 1 of the Grand Finols, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this one rolling. That's the scoreboard. That's the game. There we go. We're into it. So, 3-star Arc Warden. You bring that up, right? 3-star Arc Warden with the items. I hear that day 1 it crashed everything because I don't know how that slipped by Q&A, but I mean, you would have thought that they had figured that one out from the past because that used to be a thing once upon a time as well.
Oh yeah, I mean that is maybe my favorite 3-star unit right now in this meta. I love just watching watching those Arc Horns just do their thing with your Blink Daggers, your Refresher Orbs, just spamming out the board. Love to see an Arc Warden.
Now, there are still some really good items to go with an Arc Warden. It might not be mana generation anymore to get those extra clones out there, but now that you clone items, things that have, those on-use effects, as we're watching Furbu here, who picked up a pretty sweet brawny start, they can still work. Like, the big one I've seen is Desolator. If you get a Desolator, you put on an Arc Warden, basically everybody has now Desolator. It's great.
Yeah, and I think that can be really strong in a Heartless comp with that already benefits from a lot of physical damage and that armor reduction. So yeah, Desolator is like an excellent sort of mid-game choice for Arc Warden. But what I have found through my lobbies is if you can get that late-game Horn of the Alpha,
absolutely,
you just get, you're looking at like upper 5-digit damage numbers with Arc Warden. Just an absolute unreal amount of damage.
11k, 13k, 16k. Yep, it's definitely happened. You revive Jurassic Park, and those dinos just trample all over everything, man.
It makes me wonder if Valve considered, they knew that they could, but did they ever consider if they should?
The age-old question. I have the power, but should I do it? Yeah. So as we've been rambling here, we are into our first lobby, Group A, Round 1. You do see some of these familiar names, as well you should. This is the top 32. But Orbitix and Quanrong-chan are definitely two people that I get to see a lot in the duo side of tournaments. Oh, that is adorable.
Oh, wow.
You have a kitten.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going back to webcam just for a minute. Look at that kitten. Oh, that kitten's amazing.
Say hi to Arya, everyone. Yeah, in this quarantine, we decided to rescue a little kitten from Kitten Season 2020. And she's just a joy, so you might see her popping up on some of these casts. She is just a little snuggle buddy.
I mean, put the headset on her. I want to get her opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's my coach. Her and my other cat just sort of hang out in the cat trap while I'm playing games. And their advice has been better. But I don't know. Hey, I'm streaking. My goal, hit Lord before Season 2. And I think it can happen. That's my goal for the next couple weeks.
As a personal latecomer to a lot of the whole ladder situation, I got to boss. I got to big boss, I think. And I'm pretty happy there. It's like, I'm okay just living there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good spot. There's some good competitive lobbies. You see some really experimental stuff down there sometimes. And I think, personally, now the game has never been more open-ended for experimentation. When you're living in that Big Boss 1 sort of margarita shaker where you're just constantly, like, winning and losing and just, like, you never de-rank. Or you never, like, D-level, you can just D-rank down. So that usually, when I'm stuck in there and I go on a losing spree because I try to force, like, I don't know, some, like, truly experimental stuff, like, Mass Mage Warlock, or, I don't know, like...
Mass Mage
like
Warlock.
Weird Bloodbound builds. I usually end up down there, and I like to experiment. That's where the real creation happens,
All right, so professional opinion here, Doc.
Sure.
With the 3-star Bloodbound change to Bloodseeker. Now, Bloodseeker is sometimes something we see. We see it a hell of a lot more in duos, but in solos, typically you kind of ditch it by mid-game, right? You're just gone. It was a good early game tool, but now with a 3-star going with Assassins, that's also, again, not a comp we've seen a lot of here at the top tier.
That's spicy stuff. Assassin comps I have found to be pretty effective because there's usually only like 1 or 2 guys going Assassins. But that's more of like a late game build and can be tough to roll into, particularly early on. That's why you usually see it combined with like Bugs, because you have the natural in with your Nyx Assassin. Weaver is an early game unit. I can't speak for, across like sort of higher level lobbies, but I never see Insect 2. So that Weaver usually gets subbed out for one of the more powerful assassins, and you get the
Absolutely.
transitions into Void. Now with Bloodseeker in the game with his 3-star bonus, I would not be shocked to see some Bloodbound assassin comps, because if you get that early Ogre cap, you put that on a sort of sacrificial Warlock, and you focus if you focus on your leveling to get that quick 6 assassins, then hey, you get an early 3-star Bloodseeker, and it could get out of hand.
Well, we're again going to be keeping an eye out there to see if any of this actually happens. Look at Kay. Kay just actually picked up Warlock and Bloodseeker. So, does he have a
Yes.
cap? No cap. Has a Void Stone on a Tusk, though. Okay, there we go. Swapped it over.
Did anyone get a cap?
Well,
Nice.
I'll let you do your investigation thing, as we're gonna see Kay do 2-star things here. The only person actually still streaking at this point is Mutant. 5-bit rounds in. It's a mix of level 3s and 4s. I assume the 4s went up for their streaks, and only Mutant was actually able to keep his. So we'll see if that pans out in the long run.
Good old Mutin. I've seen him in my lobbies in this tournament. He's a long time comer, so it's nice to see that he made it into the finals.
Yeah, top 32, man. Like, if you work that hard, you gotta reward you with a top 32 here. This Seeker does not want to die. This Bloodbound comp actually kept it alive really, really nicely. But it will still be a win for Kay. But again, we'll keep an eye on him. Looking at his board, it looks like that's kind of the extent of the Bloodbound. But I mean, what else can you do with it, right? He's already got all 3 units.
Right. And Bloodbound's always been such an interesting comp to see, because you've got these certain alliances that just the strategy just sort of boils down to just throw whoever you can on the board. Side alliances be damned. You see that with your Bloodbounds. You see that with your Brawnies, or saw that with your Brawnies. I'm not sure how much that's been around recently, but if you can, yeah, like having like a lot of low-leveled fodder units that exist solely to die can be pretty strong for Bloodbound, because you have like a Bloodseeker with Stonehall Cloak, for example, just in the backlines wreaking havoc, munching on dudes, constantly regenerating health. The more your allies die, the stronger you become, and then suddenly it's late, and you've got like 500 extra damage and a bunch of kills, and you constantly just get tankier and tankier.
I know we say like, oh, it's just 500 extra damage, but that alliance really does give a lot of bloody damage. All you have to do is just find the trick to surviving to get it dealt. And that's always been the balance there.
Absolutely. It's not only just surviving, but like, how can I make my units get off their abilities in a useful way and then immediately die? So whenever I'm playing Bloodbound and my Warlock decides to heal himself, sort of delaying his death instead of like putting it offensively on an enemy or putting it on another unit, I always just like smack my head, because it's like, just die, please. You're here to be a sacrifice, and know your lot in life,
Lawn life, did you say?
Lot in life.
Lot in life. Like,
Yeah.
what the heck is a lawn life?
Lot in life.
I don't know what happened to Mutant here, but he sold everything and didn't get it out in time, so he only had 2 units
Yoink.
on board.
Nice.
But he has done a transition. He's now sold off kind of the mishmash of stuff he had. He's now into a 4-night bonus, but he lost his streak for it, so streak in pieces, Mutant. TMZ
Rip.
is actually still streaking, has a good setup early here for, well, kind of a number of anything. He has only the bugs, but got some mages. You got some druids. There's an assassin on board. Looks like it'll be a mage overall, but a little early to kind of throw them all in, eh?
And I really like that Shadow Fiend pickup that they have too. The amount of magic damage that he can put out should not be ignored. It has some other good ins if you want to option into Warlock too, with your Warlocks, with your the Broodmother blast damage is non-negligible. Plus you get free bugs out of it. But we should be seeing a pivot away from bugs here fairly soon from the board. This is usually around when they start to lose their luster.
Well, there's quite a few 2-stars out and about for TMZ here. So level 5 here at round 9, picking up another round of items. We'll throw up the scoreboard here for everyone once TMZ actually has his all figured out. Ooh, Force Staff, I guess, for him. But as it comes through, right, we're going into round 9. We're going to see these Underlord pick up soon. There's some bugs. There's some Bloodbound with K. Some Druid splashed on three of these guys. Actually, bugs on 3 players today. That's kind of strange. Mutant has kind of gone into, I think, what is going to be the beginning of his end build, that Knight Rainbow with an LC capstone.
I absolutely adore this build, and that's how I've been climbing in lower ranks. Just abusing, all the sort of alliance diversity you can just get out of Knight, Healer, Warlock natively. You
And
get
trolls. Trolls in there.
Ooh, spicy dual win. I personally wait a little bit later to put in a Legion commander, at least until I can get your sort of triumvirate of like your Warlock, Omni Knight, and Witch Doctor up to get all of those juicy bonuses. But this looks like it's working out for him pretty well.
Yeah, having a 2-star CK definitely really helps the early game. Those stuns, the pure damage absolutely slays. And if you can get more of those LC dual wins, right, then you're setting yourself up for a pretty sweet end game by the end of it. But TMZ will be defeated. Mutant will take him down, which means we've lost all streaks. And here comes the Lords. Now, I suspect there's going to be a lot of Nesix, and there is, but there's actually a lot of Hobgin. I
Let's
wonder
talk
why,
Hobgin.
Doc. Why did that happen?
Well, Hopkin essentially got a big old shot of steroids this week from this week's patch. We saw a lot more viability with him in summoner comps. Now that Let's Go Crazy applies to any unit that comes out after Let's Go Crazy pops,
thank
and
goodness.
Friendly Fire has been set free from just being sort of a mage thing. That's now pure damage and an excellent way to turn a close fight into your favor, and to turn a losing fight into a mitigated damage or a mitigated health loss for your team.
It was duel of the cannons here for a minute on Orbitic's screen as both the Hopkins kind of threw their cannons at each other. Now, as I said, why did this happen? Well, it's kind of been a long time coming. If last week's matches are any indication, and they're not because they were pretty canon, you see maybe 1 or 2, typically mages, players rocking into the Hobgin. Everybody else is a Nesix. There's the odd Jewel out there for a frontliner, and then if you're going into like a Warrior or a Brawny, then we typically saw a Neno, right? But last weekend on round 4, 7 out of 8 players were bloody an Essex.
Essex is just generally good. Like, you want healing because you don't want your units to die, and the sort of damage spike you can get from a good Enthrall cannot be understated. If you get like a Weaver, or like my personal favorite, enthralling an Ogre Magi, because like the timings work out. So if you enthrall an Ogre, it is like game over. He does like 2,000 damage a hit, and he's already hitting faster with the Bloodlust buff. It is an absurd sort of turning point in any battle within an Essex.
Yeah, the demon buff kind of kicks in very well. That's why he's a good target for wristfuls and a lot of comps that do want a little extra demon kick. Going into round 12, as I said, should be another item round coming up. But state of everyone here, we should start seeing the solidification of a lot of these builds. A lot of 2-stars, still a few 1-stars. Actually, if you look at K is actually suffering pretty hard from 1-star syndrome right now.
Ugh, yeah, you hate to see an anemic bench or an anemic playing field like that.
Ugh, yeah, he's figuring it out. But 4 players with barricades today. Barricades is certainly like a very hit or miss contraption, I've noticed. Some games we have 0, sometimes we have 5, 6 of them. It looks like 4 will be the settled number, and they kind of go with their builds a lot because there are 3 mages hiding behind
Let's go.
these barricades.
Taste the Morphling. Taste it on my lips, please. I'm on my knees, Gabe, and give me the juice, just please.
Take him to church, guys. Take him to church.
Oh man, but yeah, barriers with mages helps them out a lot because these are typically your frailer units, not a lot of HP, and typically backliners as well. So getting that additional damage reduction from the barriers is definitely a boon.
The other one hiding behind it is Hunter Heartless. So.
Oh, yeah, another thing that we've seen a lot come into prominence with this season is the rise of the Barrier Hunter. you plop your Nesix out onto the ridge of that and have her stymie all the movement, and people just kind of come into the kill zone, and then that's it. You end up getting riddled.
I mean, hey, if it works, it works, right? It's like tower defense all over again.
Absolutely.
Just funnel them all in, yeah.
See, that's why I love Veno. Like, that's why I like Venomancer in Dota. That's why I like Venomancer in Underlords. Because I'll tell you, nothing was more disappointing for me when they took away his Plague Wards and gave him the poison. What is that called? Not Poison Blast. It's not Poison Nova. It'll come to me. But a Venomous Gale. When they gave him Venomous Gale, it's like, that's not Venomancer. I want to play tower defense when I get Venomancer, and that's why I pick that hero. So please, just give it to me. Check out SMD's board real quick, by the way. He's kind of got his Slaughdar in a funny little place. You'll have to have the round kick off and be like, oh yeah.
There must have been a tiny involved in that one.
Just can't move, huh?
At least it's healing. I don't know why it's hurt, but at least it's healing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, hey.
There we go. You can see the Nesix heals just working away on him there. Yeah, Tinies and Force Sticks can certainly produce some interesting, like, weird placement things to go along. But again, like, there's the cabbage carts, right? If you've ever watched Avatar, you know that they're all going to get thrown into disarray.
Like cabbages.
Exactly. Yeah, you get it. You get it.
I love it. Love Avatar. Great series.
So round 14, you know, a lot of people are performing as expected. We're down to 80 at the top end, but what is going on with Quan Rong Chan? 43 health seems to be a bit of an outlier, especially at round 14. And I'm looking, but I mean, I don't see anything being super forced here.
Well, part of this build is there's another player in this lobby. You've got Mutant up at the top that is absolutely eating your lunch. Them performing better means that they have more gold to spend, and more gold to spend means that they can just buy more units and starve you out of the units that you need for your build.
So it's just kind of getting unlucky in the shop, huh?
Yeah. I mean, half the board is still 1 star, half the board is 2 star. They've got a decent spread for the LC bonus, but overall,
It's not happening.
Not happening.
I mean, 2-star CK, 11 kills with a cloak. Seems pretty decent. Don't know what kind of bad luck you had to get a poison orb. The Orb of Venom.
That's rough, especially in a night build.
Yeah, it's on Abaddon, so I don't know. Maybe I would have put that on the Witch Doctor, but that's me.
Yeah. People undervalue how fast and how much damage a Witch Doctor can do and how many, like, periphery kills he can do from his attack speed bonus. Because, like, you don't... Like, Abaddon's attack rate is, like, you know...
It's actually not bad. 6-7.
It's not the worst.
No.
But, like, Witch Doctor, look, at the beginning of the round, he's close to, like, an attack rate of 1, so he's, like, a really good candidate for proc items like Basher, your Maelstrom, your Orb of Venom, stuff like that.
Stacking that poison. Yeah. I heard an Enthrall go off. Who did they actually get? Okay, it was the Warlock. That was not the best of Enthralls right there.
Not the best get, certainly.
But it looks like Quan Rong Chan will actually fight back a little bit and stem the flow of health. Looked pretty strong that round, too. Yeah. Poor SMD takes 11 at round 15. That's a bit of a hit.
Small haymaker there, sure.
Yeah. And now all of a sudden we went from all green and Quan Rong Chan here on the lower rung to now a few more people being dragged down the ladder a bit. So, yep. All right. So it's just bad luck. Okay. So him versus Mutant. Yeah, you can see exactly the same builds, just kind of different numbers on all of them.
Yeah. Another thing to note, interestingly, is that no one's really going for like an extreme low roll strat. You don't see anyone sitting at level 5 or level 4 trying to buy a bunch of Warlocks or buy a bunch of CMs or anything like that to try to get some of those less econ dependent or level dependent builds going on.
The Mr. Warlock build, as my friends at Duo, Good Odds Live, the Duo team, like to play.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, who made the idea of having a unit called Warlock and then an alliance called Warlock?
Well, this is also your sort of like demon hunter and demons and hunters also being in the game. I remember many text chains with me and my friends trying to talk about those alliances and Terrorblade and being like, no, I mean Mr. Warlock. I mean demon hunter, not demons and hunters. Forget it.
What do you mean my demon hunter isn't a demon or a hunter? Yeah.
I remember the original mod that being very strange to me. Like, why am I not getting the hunter bonus when I have Terrorblade?
Once upon a time. Yep. All right, another round of items coming in. Didn't really, nothing actually popped up on my screen. So we'll head over to Furubu. We'll wish Quanrong the best of luck. We'll see if they start getting down into red very quickly. We'll head back over. But Furubu is the only one streaking. Of the last 3 rounds, they've won all of them. Ooh, another 2-star Morphling for TMZ there. Furubu is who we started off with, though. Does have mages. I do see a 2-star Morphling. Not really close to 3-star anything, though.
Our victory is at hand.
In fact, is not
Yeah,
even
it's-
using the CM because it's only 1-star.
Yeah, I mean, the CC is nice early game, when just like the sort of low numbers means that if you can just take one person out of the fight, you're immediately at an advantage. Same reason why Insect is very good early game, but at, level 7, there are better mages, certainly.
Well, let's hope that some of those better mages find their way onto the board soon. Furubu takes 14!
That is rough.
I mean, are
How did
mages supposed to beat knights? The damage reduction bonus of a 4 knight versus mage seems a little good early on, right?
Yeah, that is, before you can get that 6th mage in on the field, and usually have to be, level 7, level 8 to really get those coddles reliantly, it's rough. It's rough goings, and you like to see that supplemented by something like spirits early on, because of the disarm and the silence can get good area of effect damage. And even that is kind of up to chance. I've had my share of spirit games where they just sort of delta slam nothing, and that can help out mage comps early on, but Furubu here has opted for more of a brute-centric druid build.
Yeah, I did notice that. Brutes can be surprisingly good frontliners when they don't get immediately slaughtered. Kind of like what's happening now. Getting immediately slaughtered.
It's Furubu's sort of woes are ongoing.
It's not like I would recommend going brutes over warriors if you want a strong front line, but for the hunters and for the assassins coming up, right, you get that brute debuff going and you'll be flying, but you get people hiding behind sandbags peppering you with arrows. It's not really much of a shot. So Furubu down to 40, he's not alone. There's a lot of people down in yellow. Quadrong Chan, what happened? You were at 30 health 2 rounds ago.
It is rough.
It is
rough in the
extremely
streets.
rough. Oh.
So there's 2 sort of philosophies around knight builds that I see often in my pubs. People usually like to go the 4 knight for troll, for that extra attack speed and the durability, your natural synergies with Bat Rider, and good late game options with Troll Warlord. I, however, like rainbow builds that center on a 6 knight build that I don't think is going on in this lobby. But that 6 knight build gives you more options, better durability, better sort of endurance late game by just having that extra damage reduction on your 6 knights, more options for your Legion commander. It's a little expensive, so maybe you don't end up with that 3-star CK or that 3-star Luna that really puts you onto another level of dominance. But here we only see the 4 knight 4 troll variants.
Well, I don't know about Big Boss and all that, right? But at least here in UPL, very rarely do we ever see 6 knights. Actually, the trend over the last 3 weeks have been to prioritize 4 troll over everything else in the build.
Yeah, I see, I've seen a lot of discussion and also in my pubs, a lot of 4 troll action. I've seen that with Knights. I've seen that with Heartless.
Yep.
Turns out attack speed good.
Yeah, attack speed real good. Unga bunga. Now, we did just actually slot in for trolls here. So Quanrong Chan did win a round. Still sitting down here at 12. Not great. SMD 26, the only other heartbeat in here. But, yeah, will this attack speed make up for it? It does look like we are kind of swarming that corner. The Hunter Mage combos in the corners here aren't really the problem for Quanrong Chan. It's when he runs into other things that are the problem.
Yeah, that it is a fierce bottleneck, though. I gotta say, we saw it in the previous round with KRG, and we saw it this round, where you have all of these knights, and they just kind of get filtered in like it's 300 into that sort of barrier choke point. And when you see like
Underlords.
when you see all these builds that go, we have a lot of Hopkins this week, and we see a lot, 3 friendly fires that can get particularly devastating if you can't finish the plate before all those bombs go off.
I mean, I know that by the end of it there, Quan Chan actually did lose that round. Actually, now there's 4 people down to the heartbeat. But, I mean, losing 7 health in that round was the least amount of health that he's lost. And that's after he slotted in 4 trolls. It really does make a difference. 6 knights, sure, damage reduction, flexibility, but you can't really finish off into the healer warlock. Not that there's any semblance of warlock on this one. We're a unit short because Quan Chan has been riding the poverty line, just trying to make sure he survives another round.
Yeah, it's rough when you get way down there. It's like even mitigating damage at that point is just like really desperate measures.
Silence is pretty dang good right there. Oh, another one, too. Can't get any of those heals off in the CK. Ugh, it's just going to drop the rest of all that friendly fire coming down. And tell ya, it ain't so friendly. Quan Chan out. Round 21. Couldn't even get to the 9-unit mark. Feels bad, man.
Rough. Yeah, that enthralled cuddle did him no favors.
Absolutely not. TMZ down 7. In the last item round of pickups, I think I said that right. Yeah, Black King Bar actually was the big defensive item that TMZ picked up for himself. Doesn't seem to have worked much against Mutant, but with 3 other mages in this lobby, it feels like a pretty solid investment. But again, when you're down to 7 health and a dream, it's going to be very hit or miss depending on who your opponent is.
Absolutely. Big mage pick, or not big axe pickup for TMZ too recently. Got an early 5 cost unit, and if left unchecked, that axe can completely derail a match.
It's also just a really great frontliner to go with this Ogre Mage. Has more health than the Ogre Mage, but has less damage. But that's okay because Dunk, right? He's just going to be playing basketball out here, and he's Michael Jordan of the Underlord universe.
Imagine if everyone on the enemy team just had 25% less health.
Done.
That is what an axe gives your comp.
Yeah, as long as he's alive and actually attacking the thing that requires dunking. It's kind of a bit of a thing, but hey, it can happen.
Yep.
You got 3 dunks off there. It's not so bad.
A couple dunks. But is it enough? Can he repel this swarm of summoner units? It is looking increasingly unlikely.
Yeah, that's not going to be happening. And Blue will take him to church, and that's going to be 7th place. Streak complete for Orbitix. Sneaky streaker. Didn't even notice. Been focusing on the eliminations, but TMZ out. And as I said, mages. Fun comp. Can definitely do some damage. Sometimes.
They needed that. TMZ needed that essential 6th mage, and we got 2 other people in the lobby. We got Kane, we got Furbu, who have completed that 6th mage to give him that full magic amp.
Furbu up at 31 health, not great. Is essentially the next on the chomp block, but there's a bit of a streak going on here, right? The bottom 4, well, actually the bottom 5, all are the contraption players.
Oh wow, look at that.
Contraption's not doing their work here with those barriers, but still, SMD at 8, we're going to be watching him. Then the 2 mages are up at the 30s. Orbitix sitting comfy up top with Heartless Hunters.
Yeah, we definitely see sort of have and have not situation with health here.
Okay, SMD.
Interesting barrier lineup from SMD here, with opting for the more vertical choke point versus the horizontal choke point.
Well, it's not like there's going to be a lot of assassins to come in that way, but they really just don't have it in when it comes down to it. But Friendly Fire, again, has just been absolutely wrecking face today.
Oh my god.
That
Look at these
enthrall.
haymakers.
That enthrall.
Is he going to solo this lobby with this? That's the... Oh my god. Yeah, he's got it. It's in the bag.
Whoops. Victory. Okay. Furbu takes 5. Furbu might have thought that one was a bit of a slam dunk right there, but I mean, you're right. Yeah, sometimes we do have these contraptions, lined up across the top, but I have found actually quite a bit of success lining them down like this, because you can make a nice narrow, or you can make it a bit fatter like this one with a 3-column, and it works just as well, just as good. There's a Troll Warlord in this comp for SMD.
Yeah, so this is maybe one of the most enduring builds across all patches in Underlords. Your classic Heartless Hunter Warrior with Warlock. And opts for Scaled, which, I mean, hey, not a bad call with, two really hard-hitting mages still left in the lobby.
Okay, there's going to be an LC, just wrecking face in the front. That's not going to be the best of Tidehunter ults right there. It did actually hit 2 rounds of units, but only 4 of the 9 or so. And now with the space in the back opened up, that's going to be the big bad summon in the back, and this should seal the deal. Mutant will take 15 from SMD and say, thank you, sir. That's our 6th place elimination.
Dang. Yeah, good, well-placed Nesix Golem can just completely flip a match on its head.
Absolutely. So, out was Quan Rong Chan first, TMZ second, SMD third. Double tombstones coming in for the top 2. Mechanism, Shiva's Guard. I do like the idea of a mechanism with these mages still floating around, but double Shiva's Guard should be curbing down those hunters, you'd imagine.
Oh, yeah. That additional armor combined with that strong magical burst is really, really good against these hunter comps that usually don't have the best magical defense until Medusa comes into the picture, and you usually pair that with a Tidehunter or a Splash Slark.
I'm going to be over here with
that magic damage.
I'm going to be here with M Blue. Check out the Savage Summoners. He's going to take on Mutant, who did just eliminate SMD. Picked up that tombstone in that front line. We do have a Quill Bearer here, but he's just died very quickly, and now the summons are adding up. It's just a sea of red, Doc. I don't think I'm going colorblind, but this is looking pretty overwhelming against M Blue. We do have double Spirit Bear with that refresher from that 3-star Lone Druid, but it's just not enough. Here comes the big baddie, and it's going to be blood everywhere from M Blue. He will survive, but it will not look pretty. He's down to 10 as a result.
Those are a lot of units, Chester. That
was.
is just an absolutely overwhelming summon comp against M Blue there.
Which is kind of weird because M Blue is the Savage Summoner.
Yeah, I mean,
how does he get out summoned?
Shadow Shaman has come a long way.
He really has.
In the early days of Underlords, I remember Shadow Shaman just having a tier into and of himself just by having really bad alliances. The chicken was fine early game, but really fell off. But now these wards, I mean, they're really good as sort of these makeshift barriers and decent DPS source for summoner comps.
Their damage, they take up a slot on the board so you can't get around them, and they soak up a lot of that damage. It's a pretty good triple threat as the 4 trolls come through, but it's not gonna matter when the horses come a-clopping because he just got absolutely run over by that Keeper of the Light, and now with the friendly fire coming through, this Lone Druid is the lone standing unit, but it will not matter. M Blue out with 12 damage to the face. Furbu down to 5 from Orbitix. Orbitix no longer the king of the castle, up at the 70 health. Is still leading at 52, but he just murdered Furbu. So what went wrong over here, you wonder?
Good question. I mean, we're down to the last 4 people in the lobby. We got 2 mages. We got one.
There we go, level 10.
We got 1 hunter comp, and we got 1 troll knight. So both mages opting to go for a brute sort of branch, as well as your primordials and your warlocks. I mean, I haven't had my vision checked for a while, but it's almost like I'm seeing double.
The 2 mages are doing very similar things. We do got Shivas and a Scythe of Vice here on Furbu, who is going to be having the pleasure of taking on Mutant, who is streaking 32 health and a drain. The Shivas do go off, but the front line of these brutes are not lasting too long. That's a great silence, though.
Yeah,
Furbu fighting back. Some
storm.
great burst damage. Actually, that might have been enough. That silence was really well timed.
Unbelievable silence from Furbu here. Just really took it to that night comp. Hit everyone.
19. What a perfect placement. That was fantastic, because that was also the last unit that he put in. He hit 10, put in the Disruptor, had the burst healing from the Warlock, and then that comboed greatly with the Shadow Fiend. Not only was there no healing from those knights, but all of a sudden, everybody's really healthy again. It was great.
Devastating stuff. And that rush to 10, putting in that Disruptor, ace move.
Hey man, if it works, it works, and sometimes you just gotta Put all your cards on the line. Finally found a 2-star Caudle on top of things. We thought Keeper of the Light did great last round. Well, we should see it in the 5-digit zone. Fribu taking on K this round. I don't think that Ogre Mage got in K, but the double Shivas go off. You can see a fantastic hit, though, from that Tidehunter. Does get silence, will go down, but I think the damage is done. There is so much more red on the board, and Fribu will not have the health to survive this one.
It's a brutal mage-on-mage conflict here, Jester. And, oh, even with the spray at the end, brutal stuff.
Cheers, mate. Let's head over to Orbitix, who has taken another hit, but he's up against Mutant, and Orbitix will take an even bigger hit. These wards from Mutant were the only things still standing there, and I gotta say, again, 4 trolls in multiple players significantly increased their builds again. Like,
he's sort of like exodying out with this sort of 4 troll, 4 knight, 4 healer comp that provides this constant source of attack speed based damage and the sustain from the healers.
K got a Dagon. Now I think the Dagon, correct me if I'm wrong, will go with the mages, right? 70% more magic
Absolutely.
damage?
Yeah, that will amp that up, and I love Dagon personally, but I just remember that there was a time when you were super ahead. Like, the most mannerful thing you could do was to pick up a Dagon, because it used to just be so bad.
So 70% on that Dagon should bring it to about 1,300-ish damage, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, no.
Yeah, it's
14? 1,400, somewhere in there.
Quite devastating.
Mutant on both boards this time. We're sitting here on K, though. K versus Mutant, and the clone up against Orbitix right there. The 6 mages with that Dagon. They got to get it done. The silence is real good. The burst damage from that Shadow Fiend really kind of coming through. Another silence into that corner, and it does look like the mages will have this one. Mutant will go out 18 health, but he takes 23 from Orbitix on his way down to the grave. So K has got a lot of health lead here to go over that previous first place.
That's spicy stuff. I love it. Dragging him down like a bucket of crabs.
Now, we haven't really looked at Orbitix much, so we're just going to take a quick look at him here. 10 units. Has a Lich in his shop, but he has 2 Medusas between board and bench. Don't you just wish that was a Medusa? Orbitix is holding his cash. He's not worried about being eliminated here.
Interesting. A very, sort of, not an arrogant play, but like a, very, preserving that interest. Maybe thinks he'll fight to see another day.
Shivas go out. The Doom gets targeted after the Doom hits on top of Drow Ranger. You can see the Lich bouncing around, but the burst healing is there, and K is able to keep his team alive. But there's a 3-star tree in the back, and the friendly fire takes down so much of K, and that just wasn't enough. The 3-star tree lights on fire like Lord of the Rings, and there's no stream nearby. Orbitix goes down.
Face. Brutal stuff. Wow,
Still,
that was a great lobby. A lot of really diverse builds here. You saw some mages, saw some hunters, saw some knights. It's great stuff.
Now, if Orbitix had not taken 23 hit from Mutant, we would have another round to go. And maybe that Medusa might have made a difference. Maybe it wouldn't have. Not sure at this point. But, whew, K has got to be happy with that. The mages come through. There was, sadly, not a 3-star to our name today. But it's only round 1 of 4.
I'm holding out. I think someone, the low roll strat can work. You get a 3-star Warlock, you get a 3-star Morphling or a 3-star CM, and, the whole game. Just, it's a whole different ball game.
Just not today's ball game, it seems. So that's okay. As I said, round 1 of 4. Let's just take a quick peek out to the other bots. So round 1, Group A, done. It does look like actually we were the latecomers, so does look like everything else has wrapped up. There should only be 4 lobbies today, and I see all 4 bots out, which means that I will accept your friend request instead.
Oh, how nice.
I didn't even see it. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's like, oh, man, I got a cast today. It's like, well, I'll throw it out on Steam, throw it out on Discord.
I mean, like, as far as I'm aware, this is your first casting venture.
Yeah, it is my first time casting in any sort of official capacity since 2012, and that is when I casted.
What the hell were you doing in 2012?
In 2012, I was very into a community of a custom game on StarCraft 2 You may remember it called Storm of the Imperial Sanctum.
Oh my God, you had your own Dota's community back then too. Yeah.
Dude, I could wax poetic about the Sodas community for hours. It could be the rest of this cast. I loved that mod.
Oh yeah, I didn't actually ever play it myself, not the StarCraft 2 version, but I'll do you one better, and I'll say the Aeon of Strife.
The old school
Yeah,
from
you
like
want to?
Brew War?
Yeah, dude, I am old in esports. Okay, yeah. You want to go back to Aeon of Strife? You want to go back that far? The Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos Dota into the Frozen Throne Dota, which then became Heroes of New Earth, which then got sued by Valve for Dota 2, who then got competition from the other split of Ice Frog and crew with Pendragon and Ginsu to make League of Legends. And then Blizzard made their own with Heroes of the Storm. Sure, yeah. Let's talk about my history all this time.
It's like that. It's like that big meme. It's like that chart of that of like all those like dominoes of like varying size, and like at the very beginning, it's like some dude just makes Aeon of Strife way back for Brood War, and like the big domino at the end is like now you have the like a sort of community split between Auto Chess Classic, TFT, and Underlords, and Battlegrounds.
It's where it goes, man. It's where it all goes. Now, I think it's personally a tragedy that we're like, some guy made Aeon of Strife. We know the name Pendragon, Ginsu, Ice Frog. We know those names. They're the progenitors of Dota and League of Legends. But, like, who the hell made Aeon of Strife? It's such a shame that we don't have that as common knowledge,
Right. Well, that actually, we can look into this sort of like custom game scene and how that has warped and changed over the years. The locking down of custom games in like StarCraft 2 versus like the very open and editable map community from Brood War. I never played Warcraft 3, so I didn't know how. Yeah. At that point, I just sort of rolled off PC gaming, focused more on console gaming. Big
Ugh.
Nintendo fan here.
Zex, who did you give me here? I thought we had something.
No, but I've once I headed off to college, I saw the light, and all I had was
There
my
we go.
trusty laptop. I left my Wii at home. I became a man. Played a lot of TF2.
That's the reason you became a man?
Yeah, yeah. Everyone when my peers were out partying, I studied the Scout. You see,
The
so
Scout. You think you're a man because you played Scout. Soldier or bust, my friend.
I was always. This may shock you, but Dr. Heckle played a lot of Medic.
Okay, well, that's acceptable as well. All right, so with the scoreboard now up, thank you, Carlbot. You can see that K will take first place in the rankings simply because, again, Group A got 15 points for those match points, but the other lobbies all stepped up as well. So between first and second of the four, we'll make our next lobby, whose code is actually now out. So let's get that going, and we'll take a quick break as we let these players all set up. Hey, we're in a duo team. Sweet.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, well, I broke it off. Sorry, you're a console gamer.
Ouch. Wounded to my heart.
But we will be joined next round for round 2, Group A here by K, Winterio, Penka, Sabas, which is Demon Stopper. Good watching with Demon Stopper all the time. Orbitix will be there, Taft G, Excelsior, and Tomato. So let's give them about 3 minutes, guys. Take a quick break, and as we get this lobby filled, we'll come back to Group A, round 2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it does look like we are all clear when Taft G does deign us a check mark. Oh, and he does, so it's all good. It's Dr. Heckle and I here, round 2, Group A. All of the first and second place ladies all just, strutting their stuff here. And boom, as we get right back into it here, Doc, we talked a little about what we wanted to see. What we ended up seeing wasn't exactly, I think, what we were hoping, but it's turned out pretty okay.
Yeah, decent comp diversity, some good positioning, a lot of contraptions. Not exactly the most diverse Underlord choices, but still put on a pretty good show.
Not bad, 50-50. It's more diverse than some lobbies I've been in.
Yeah, for sure. Do you remember Launch Jewel?
I wasn't actually here for launch. I know, I'm telling you, man, I'm a latecomer, which is why I'm not trying to break into the Lord thing. Because there's no point in me trying to fight people with 15K when I'm down at 6,
Sure.
It's not the life I'm about, man.
Jewel at launch was an absolute beefcake. He had ridiculous damage resist and wild life steal, and it was just for that 3 days before they hot patched him, it was just Jewel every lobby. And Essex Hopkin did not stack up.
Yeah, it's quite a different world now, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now again, unless we see some kind of beefier comp like a Brutes or a Warriors, we've typically not seen Enos. An Essex's I still never actually figured that one out. Have definitely been reigning supreme, but now with the changes to Hobkin, we saw a 50-50 lobby. I'm curious to see what will end up here. But we have seen some good use cases of Jewel, even this late into the season, as underpowered as he is perceived. If you definitely need a beefcake, he's going to be a better choice early on than majority of the Warriors out there.
Absolutely. I mean, the other 3 Underlords are just ranged and don't have the kind of chuffed that Jewel brings.
I like the evasiveness of Eno, but yeah, it's not the take a beating kind of evasiveness.
Right, and plus he can end up with a scenario where, if you try to frontline him, yes, he can take off, and Eno's had his share of being broken this season too, with, stunning on launch and on land and doing, massive stun.
Did he used to
poison spread.
Stun on launch as well as land?
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Eno used to be a big problem. A really, really big problem.
I wasn't aware of that part, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here on Demon Stopper, who found the luck of double Druid early on, and then was able to sell a unit to get a Tusk. So double Druid with a 2-star now on board with that Tusk Savage. It will probably do him very well for a little bit.
You can probably just coast with that for a good long while.
Well, the big tell for me will be, will there be a level 4 slot in right now? Because if he's going to level 4, it's very likely he's going to try to coast this for a streak win.
Yeah, I mean, the econ and the leveling strategy used to be you just always take the jump at 4. You always, put in that 5, you jump right to 4, you get more people on the board if you're streaking. Because there wasn't really much to do. You want to 2-star your units. You don't want to have 1-star units sitting around. But getting a 3-star 1-cost unit was just never the play.
Tomatoes open forting. Okay. Didn't actually realize that.
Nice.
Has a 2-star Warlock, though.
How do you feel about open forting?
So when I came into the scene, which was a few weeks after launch, I think 4 or 5 seasons into UPL, that's kind of when I landed back into the game. Open forting was rampant. Easy 4+ players around for the first up to 5 rounds. Sometimes they would do it. So the game didn't even start until 7-8. Honestly, as a commentator, it's boring, right? Nobody wants to see empty boards go head to head for gold. I understand why they do it. It's boring.
It's not only boring, it's questionable kind of game design in my opinion.
The losing streak thing?
Well, losing streaks certainly have their place, but when you make a game centered around sort of unit positioning, unit composition, stuff like that, like Underlords or your general auto battler, it is strange to have a strategy where the winning move is just simply not to play for the first couple of rounds.
I don't know any board game really that has that kind of same mentality, and this is quote auto chess. But
Right.
but having a move where you don't play, like, it's not like I can do that in actual chess. So yeah, it's a little weird, it's a little boring, and it's very anti-intuitive for newer players. But I mean, it worked. We don't see it nearly as much anymore. We almost never see it in duos. If you're going to do it, it's for one round, and that's it. Because otherwise, you're taking 15 damage in 2 rounds, and you don't want that.
Yeah, you can just get absolutely laid out in duos in a bad way.
No,
So
truly.
it does make more sense these sort of solo formats like this and knockout. You definitely don't want to be open forting at all.
So I don't think Demon Stopper really cared about the streak on that first hit where he could have went up, but then he got the open forwarder, went immediately to 4, had a round, and now Orbitix, the only other person here at 4, going toe to toe. But again, with these druids, and now we got this 2-star troll out there as well. This is again looking real good for streak complete by the end of it here for Demon Stopper. I say that, but I don't know if the wards will actually beat out a 2-star Veno.
Sneaky, sneaky spiders. I mean, this is why Insect is so good early on. You can because there's so few units, almost all of them are going to get that Insect debuff, and missing those auto attacks means that yes, you get some generation from just being nibbled at, but you just miss with that, really important auto attack damage.
Well, gamble didn't work out, and it's kind of actually unfortunate, right, that the only people at 4 just happen to run into each other. But that will stop the streak for Demon. Who do you want, Wintero or Taff G?
Let's check out Taff G. Let's check out the streaker.
Well, they're both streaking.
Oh, well, fair. He's at higher health.
3
so.
warriors early on. So, but I don't see a lot of hyper rolling here.
Yeah. I mean, you see a decent amount of the lobby at 3. With only 2 people who made the jump up to 4. But Taff G's got 3 warriors. Tusk is the only 2-star on that roster, and he's just gonna get swarmed down by the trees.
Yeah, he kind of got lost in the forest.
Hate to see it.
Commentator's curse. Neither of these guys actually streaking anymore.
Dang.
So.
Pour one out.
Fair enough. What the heck happened to K, though? K's down to 84 health by round 6.
I mean,
Tomato was
early
the open
Legion
forwarder, and K has lost more health than that.
I mean, to unfortunately wear out a turn of phrase, you hate to see it. I mean, you've got an early Knight build going on here. If you're gonna do early Legion Commander, like, this is the way to do it. K
Sort of.
slotting in that Witch Doctor at level 2, so now you've got 1 level of Knight, 1 level of Troll, and the Demon bonus, so those duels are gonna hurt a whole lot.
Yeah, but 4 units versus 3 with Taff G, those warriors will not hold up to pure damage.
Absolutely not. Yeah,
So.
they're just gonna get shredded. Might be a clean sweep for K on this
Can
one.
we even get a duel? No, we got silence from the CK. So, like you said, this is how you do Legion Commander, right? But she doesn't have a single dual damage tick at all. She's been giving away the dual damage.
That's the risk of running those early Legion Commanders, is that it's just like my Dota 2 pubs. They just end up feeding.
Wow, a little bit of shade right there from the doc. They just end up feeding. Here's a unit we saw 0 of last round, Luna. We had 2 Knights players, and nobody had a Luna out there.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, Luna can definitely become a sort of tentpole of the Knight comp if you can, even without the 3-star bonus, just racking up those kills and become the source of, like, massive physical damage with her bouncing glaives, particularly with an item like Stonehall Pike.
Kay decided that having a 2-star Luna was not worth it this round, instead went for the eco play. Now has a 2-star Luna. You gotta imagine that's gonna slot it in, right?
Absolutely. The wide alliance bonuses for Legion Commander seem to be paying off with
Got a duel.
Batrider in.
Got a duel there. Nice. Yep. Is this gonna?
They're starting to look up.
Will K go up to 5? I wonder. I just want to look at K before we swap over to Orbitix for the next round. 10 cash. Will not be able to hit the 30 bonus if he goes up though.
If I'm K, I absolutely put Luna in. There's just no reason to play your studs.
Pike?
Or no reason not to play your studs.
Chrysalis versus Dragonlance. It's got to be a Chrysalis, right? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I don't know if the crit damage bounces, but I mean, that flat 25 damage is always going to feel good.
So my understanding, right, of this Moonglaive is that whatever the damage is, it's just minus 30% on the next bounce. So if it crits, I imagine it's 30% of whatever that number was on the next bounce.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I imagine. Yeah.
It gets a little wonky with sort of effects and stuff. Like, if you have like a Scotty, the Scotty effect doesn't bounce along with the glaive. So that's something I got to actually look up in the lab if that crit damage does actually propagate and bounce out.
So Orbitix and Tomato, the only two streakers. Excelsior gets it. Wow, there are so many LC comps out today. Wow. Orbitix and Tomato here, the only streakers, both at 5. And Orbitix, who is king of the lobby right now, is 3 assassin.
Oh, wow. Yeah, see, I told you. I mean, you're not
It's not going to win, but...
Yeah, no, this is going to be enough.
That 2-star healer is too much. Yeah.
Yeah, Omni is absolutely taking
How much damage did
the
he
task here.
Oh, almost, yeah. Wow. Okay. But 3 assassin, I immediately looked for a Bloodseeker, but there ain't one.
Not on
That's
his
a lot of an
bench.
Essex. That's a lot of an Essex. Oh, all-out attack?
No.
So, Eno Assassin. So, you know what? I don't actually know who you really go for an assassin comp.
It's almost always Eno.
Yeah.
Eno's mobility really lends himself well to an assassin comp because those guys are always going to be jumping around anyway. So just being among the people with constant poison application and healing for that assassin sustain for an otherwise kind of frail alliance health-wise is really, really strong.
This is not the healing Eno, though. This is all-out attack.
Yeah.
Rip. Global heal is very underrated sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I can't imagine that the 3 assassin would pay off early, but late game could be absolutely monstrous. I'm a little sad there's no Bloodseeker, and at this point, 6 units in, you're not going to be building one anyways.
Right. Now, there is a strategy where you can park at 6 and sit there and, sort of live off interest and roll because of how the distribution of unit probabilities are at tiers, or the tier distribution of units are at that level.
25, 35, 35, and, basically non-existent for the rest. But
right.
what is the unit kind of color that you want for assassins? I don't get to see assassins nearly as much.
So here's the tension, actually, with this Bloodseeker change, because I saw somebody post about it in the thread on Reddit, and I started to write a whole bunch of stuff about it, about the design decision to make Bloodseeker play off of assassins, and the more I thought about it, the more kind of sort of contradictory it is. If you want a 3-star Bloodseeker, you want to sit down in these sort of lower ranks and, buy
3, 4,
Bloodseekers.
5. Sure.
Right. And get, sort of rush up that 3-star. However, Assassin is sort of inherently this late game composition with a lot of units at 3 cost, 4 cost, and places 4 to 5 cost. So there's this sort of contradiction that doesn't exist in this sort of Mr. Warlock strat where you sit at low levels and constantly roll to get that 3-star Warlock, because along the way you can pick up Chaos Knights and Quaps and Shadow Demons, which are all 2 cost and under.
Okay.
So I'm not sure about how I land on this Bloodseeker being an assassin at 3-star lineup. It seems a little contradictory.
Is it not more of a kind of helper move to get into the late game? Because you can go Bloodbound early, pick up all those Bloodseekers, and then cash them in instead of sell them off a little bit later on as you make a transition. That's what I kind of assumed it was supposed to be, but if it kind of doesn't seem to gel, then maybe another thought will have to come around sometime.
Actually, speaking of, and yeah, everything you said, a lot of these 3-star strategies are still being figured out. Looks like we got a 3-star Warlock.
We do. Yeah, Excelsior actually picked that one up, and he picked it up in good time because it's round 12. Usually at round 12, if you've been looking for Warlocks, and again, it's not exactly paying off yet, right? You're down to like the 40 or 30 health mark.
Yeah.
He picked it up at 60 health. But he is down at 4. That is true. He has been hyper rolling, just like what we've been theorizing. So what is the next step for him? He has 1 demon on board. Well, then an Essex, I suppose, right? Oh, he got the wristful!
Oh.
He has a bat? He does have a bat. It's a 2-star bat, but it's still a
There
bat.
it is.
Okay, he does have quite a few other demons out there. Ogre Mage is, again, another good option for that wristful, but we'll see.
I would probably actually option in the Ogre Magi instead of the bat. Well, the bat's at 2 stars, but
not
and the
bad.
bat can't really take advantage of the Wristful Circlet to its fullest potential. The cooldown for Tar is 2 seconds, while the silence is 4 seconds if memory serves.
But there's no silence.
Oh, I'm a fool. Yeah, this actually rules on bat.
I was going to say, Doc,
Order
what am I doing here,
Listen.
buddy?
Listen.
On a normal comp, yeah, the Ogre Mage
a
reigns
normal
supreme
comp.
because it's 5 seconds to 5 seconds. But when there ain't no silence here, it's all gravy, Bo.
Yeah, that is a lot of damage too.
The bat's climbing, the bat's climbing. Now, the 3-star bat would be the cherry on top of this because he lights you on fire as well as doing pure, but...
3-star bat is low-key one of the best 3-star bonuses currently in the game. It's so strong.
Excelsior's damage potential just went way through the roof. So now that he's at 5 units, 31. He could spend all his money to go to 6. He'll probably wait around if I had to bet, right? Start building up some more units there as well. But if he puts in 10 now, he can put in 10 later and then another demon. But Legion, Chaos, and Bat all count towards those bonuses right now.
Actually put the circlet on Warlock
Weird.
instead of Bat.
Come for us.
Don't know why, but okay.
Well, it is a 3-star unit. It is a Warlock too, Warlock Alliance. So maybe it's just an engine just to get more healing damage in. You know, you cast and then you start doing damage, and then your Link buddy starts getting, you know, some pretty decent heal. We saw it right there with the Chaos Knight.
Okay, so it's a healing thing. That works.
Yep. And hey, looks like it's paying off.
Yeah, can't kill, well, I can't kill at least 1 unit at a time at this point. So there you go. Well, I would have never actually considered that.
Yeah, Warlock's a great, you know, is a fantastic just sort of Warlock Alliance unit because of his low cooldowns, and you know, having the healer sub alliance there definitely facilitates a lot of really tight healing.
So there's the 6th unit now in as we get into more healing with the double heals. So Wristful, double heal, double magic, or not magic, mana. The humans are in. So extra mana means more casts for this Warlock means more heals. Having this Omni out there is cool. Now you can just build up your demon force. If you get double Wristful, that Ogre Mage is going straight in.
Yeah, that is going to be a really, really good power strike for Excelsior.
Dang. Well, as I said, he made it in good time as well. He's just mowing these guys down like he's a weed whacker. It's crazy.
Yeah.
3-star
Yeah, it
idol
comes back.
though.
Yeah, it brings back the Magnus.
Won't matter, but it's cool.
Does not seem like it's going to be enough, though. Yeah,
This-
it's just... Between CK and Legion Commander with all that demon bonus, they're just at the chopping mall.
Yeah, so this is now 3-star, the 3 streak, the first of many as Excelsior fights back. Now, as we've been watching Excelsior go from the lowest health in the game to now middling, Tomato has actually kind of stayed a little bit more on top. So if we check out Tomato's board, we'll keep an eye on the bottom, but until those heartbeats still come in, nobody's really in danger of being murdered. This guy does look like, again, LC. Quite a few LCs out there today. But with the Trolls and the Knights, Warlock, Healer, this is a more typical spread.
Yeah, you look at, I mean, you just look at the scoreboard. You got 4 people going LC, you got 4 people going Knights, 4 people going Healer, 4 people going Troll.
I wonder if it's a strong build.
Yeah, perhaps. Perhaps it's how I've been climbing through Big Boss, huh?
Crazy. I mean, when nobody is holding druids against you, it's not druids. When nobody's holding Mr. Warlock against you, right?
Yeah.
And you can get it in good order. It goes well. So everyone else who didn't even think about it, going all of the Knights, playing conventionally. I mean, when it adds up like this, really the big victors are the people not going Knights.
Yeah, sure. It allows for a lot of room to breathe, and you know, for people to like branch into some uncontested builds, like Mage, like Assassin, like Druid. You know, Brute. You know, it's funny. We went from going to 2 mages in the top 4 in our previous lobby. No mages at all in this one.
Nope. No Savage Summoners either. No Hunters. The bugs have mostly been eliminated. Orbitix is still sticking with those assassins, but God, he's at 8 units and still only has 5 assassins on board. So that's a bit of a problem right now. I don't even know if we'll get to his final form. But Demon Stopper needs to have a little bit of a look-see because he just took a huge hit there from Tomato. Down to 27. This is, okay, Troll, Druid, Brute? Question mark?
Yeah, it looks like they're going for a lot of different stuff, and I'm not sure it's paying off.
Well, it's not going to win against Penka here, who just got absolutely murdered by that LC. 69 duel damage with a 16 kill count on this Legion Commander.
Very nice.
Oh, but it did get just stolen. The Enthrall was out. We do got the big bad summon in the back.
Is this the turn?
That 3-star IO plus LC Enthrall could actually be a force to be reckoned with. But this, again, this Anessus Golem is just absolutely murdering everything out there. So it's not the
Oh,
turn.
it's going to be close.
That Lifestealer doesn't have enough life to steal right now.
Yeah, if this was a brawny comp, that Lifestealer could have taken this all the way to the bank. But nothing doing.
Maybe Demon Stopper knows something we don't looking at this. It's not obviously working to a high degree, but that was way closer than it probably should have been.
Yeah, I mean, the addition of the Necrophos, now we've got a very wide build with the addition of the Healer Alliance and Heartless Alliances being completed. And this Dazzle hanging out with the Stonehall Pike. Probably not the ideal person that they were hoping to slam that on, but...
9 kills, like a 0.8 or 0.9 attack rate.
Bad.
Let's see, 0.6 to point... Doesn't say. Okay, there we go. Yeah, 0.8. I mean, that's not the worst. I'm sure there are better targets out there, but, you know, you take what you can get,
Yeah.
right?
You ideally want, like, you know, sort of high natural health, high natural attack speed for a snowball item like that.
Oh, no.
It is an
Not
absolutely
like this.
devastating handstand right now for Demon Stopper.
Oh, 12 more damage to the face. Demon Stopper is poised to be the first one out here in round 2. Came in first in round 1. Might go out 8th here, which could be an irrecoverable position for a top 4 placement. It will really come down to how rounds 3 and 4 go. But Taft G is actually not far behind him either. Taft G at 22 health. And then it's just kind of a big smattering between 30s and 50s from there.
Yeah, Taft G opted to go for a 6 warrior lineup, something I don't think we saw in our previous
And he didn't even go Eno. Man.
Didn't go Eno, didn't go Jewel.
He does have Let's Go Crazy, which, as we said, is a bit more useful now, thank goodness.
Absolutely, but you know, that heightened attack speed is going to benefit Slardar, who has deceptively high attack damage for sort of like a 2-cost unit, and for Tiny, absolutely.
Oh no, it's Excelsior! You just can't get rid of this guy!
He's been following all these other people that we've been watching. He's like the executioner.
Those warriors are just like, haha, armor, and the demons are like, what? There's what?
What's armor?
Melted slag on the floor? Oh my god, this is devastating.
I can't watch, Jester. It's too brutal.
I mean, I gotta watch. It's my job, man. 18! Demon Stopper, please tell me you kept a little bit in the bank here. Let's take... Okay, he did. 15 damage received down through K. So, Taft G and Demon Stopper are going neck and neck for the last place placement. But, Excelsior is about to get that streak complete with these demons. And he has double 1-star Shadow Fiends in.
Yoy.
A bonus is a bonus, I guess, right?
Hey, yeah, take what you can
Oh
get.
my
I
god,
guess.
he did get double wristful. The dream. Nobody's
Oh
gonna
my
defeat this
God.
guy now.
That's it. This one's cooked,
This
boys.
is a
Take it out the oven.
53 health boss. That's what this is. This is the new raid
Ugh.
boss of Underlords.
Gonna vomit, dude. This is rough.
Okay, we're not watching Excelsior. We're gonna watch Demon Stopper because Orbitix is the assassins, right? You get to see
Yeah,
the
he might just
assassins in play.
assassinate him right out of the game.
It's kind of working. Yeah, the assassins are actually like getting those crits, and just look at the meltdown. So, Demon Stopper won't actually go out. Will only take 8. Taft G, how you doing, buddy? How you? Oh, this is not looking good for Taft G.
Not great.
No, that will be that, ladies and gentlemen. Taft G out 8th. Excelsior with the streak complete as he takes 17 from Tomato. K down to 15 from Wintero. This has become a bloody game all of a sudden. Doc, what do you prescribe to stop the bleeding here?
I don't know if there's a tourniquet strong enough to stop this sort of onslaught of these Knight, Healer, Warlock, Troll comps that we're seeing dominate this board. And I don't know if Excelsior is just going to drop another round this whole game.
I have high doubts. I have absolutely high doubts that he will drop another round. That is way too many demons on a board. And with a refresher out there, the Shadow Demons are going to be just throwing out shade left, right, and center.
Yeah, usually, you see Refresher on a demon and you go, LOL, read the patch notes, learn to play. But with this, Warlock enabling the silenceless comp, we're going to see a lot of damage out of that Shadow Fiend.
All right, Demon Stomper. You're the next one up on the chop block, buddy. 3 health in a dream, level 8 here at round 21. This is where our first elimination happened in round one. Yeah, Group A, round 1. But Wintero is really putting up a good fight here. Demon Stomper does not seem to have enough gas in the tank to hold up against the onstop of red. So with that big bad demon right there, the rest of everything is just kind of melting down, and that will be it. 7th place for the Demon Stomper as Wintero will take that victory. But Tomato down to 9 health, and Orbitix basically on a pass that round. His damage went to nothing, which was beneficial for everyone else. But Tomato is now looking down the barrel of this.
Yeah, I mean, when half the lobby is sort of biting your style with this, Knight Healer comp, it's tough. You got some pretty heavy stratification between 1st and 2nd, and then 5th and 6th, all going for basically the same build.
Yeah, usually, again, like, when 4 people go the same build, the people not going that build are left to, their own devices, left to their own advantages. But there's just a demon on board, and nobody actually bothered to stop it. So now everybody's kind of paying that price.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the non-Knight comps in this lobby are definitely hitting their stride. Ooh.
Yeah,
not Tomato, though.
Tomato just got murdered by Orbitix. It wasn't even close. Excelsior, obviously, 15 damage to Penka. But K, oh no, that was lethal. I didn't even get to click on him. Wintero's a beast, man.
Yeah, I mean, this just absolute deluge of units from the lobby's lone summoner Savage comp is proving to be quite effective.
Like, we call it the Savage Summoner comp, but this isn't really a Savage Summoner comp. This is a brute druid mishmash of just happens to have a Lycan with a lone druid. It's really
for as many alliances are present in Wintero's comp, no Legion Commander.
I mean, did you see everyone else hiring them? Not really a surprise.
No great shock there.
All right, can the great Wintero Sama take on Excelsior 88? This is the guy that's been murking since round 13. And the burst heals are absolutely real. Like, you get somebody down low, and those demons just heal it right back up with those big silences removed. The healing is absolutely unreal. The pulse damage is just really ripping through them. But Wintero is definitely putting up a better fight than most. But it's still just not going to be enough. If you can't get to that 3-star Warlock, it's just not going to happen. So how do you deal with this? Like, there's no Pudges out there, right? The Assassins aren't going to be able to hook into that back line nearly so easily. So, this is probably just it. This is probably just how the rest of the game goes down.
Yeah, Excelsior's been sitting on 53 health for quite some time. Completed 1 streak already, building up another as we speak. I don't know, I think he's just going to run away with it.
Dragon Assassin Void. This is the dream for Orbitix. Has no more cash. Is at level 8. He has to fight upwards. Even to Penka, who's now at 10. Desperately trying to just get that little bit of extra firepower out there. But Orbitix here, 8 units, 2 cash. And that's it. That's like, you got to make this happen. This is your last chance.
Yeah, you're behind the curve on economy. You're behind the curve on unit count. You've hit your, really big alliance bonuses with your Void Assassins, but is it enough?
I don't know. I think that the Faceless was a little bit more of a double agent than a helpful one right there. Just kind of froze out everybody, and without the health and not a healing Eno out there as well, it does look like Wintero will seal the deal here. Orbitix out in 4th. But how much damage will Penka take? That's the big question. Penka won! The 10 units pays off. Doesn't look like he won by much, but he did win. Actually, he did win by a good much. That was 53 to 38. That's 15 damage. Damn.
It's not nothing.
It is not nothing. You're right. Harder to Rask for Excelsior, really going for tanky demons. Tombstone for Wintero. And Penka goes with a Vesture. A Vesture for the Knights.
Huge drop from Wintero here because all of those zombies are going to get the summoner bonuses that Wintero's been building up.
They count as summons, do they? Okay.
I believe the zombies do count as summons.
I mean,
I'll
I'm
check
good
to
with
see
it.
if-
I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I never thought about that, but I'm good with it, yeah.
Yeah, you get the additional frontlining from the Tombstone, just like building health, and yeah, you couldn't really ask for a better drop from Wintero.
Is that enough, though? Excelsior does take the first hit in a while. Penka is going to be taking on the clone. We're going to hop over then to the Demons versus Wintero. See if this is going to be the same result as round 2, as Excelsior does move forward. Still only has that 3-star Warlock, but double CKs, double Shadow Fiends out there. The damage is still really mounting, and Wintero is starting to fold real quick. That Tombstone doesn't seem like it's going to make enough of a difference. The Golem in the back does not land on the 3-star Warlock, and it doesn't even look like it'll take a unit down. So that is going to be 22 to the face as Wintero loses this board. Penka, however, up against the clone. Penka is going to take a hit. This is a 3-star Lone Druid Reckon face here for for Wintero.
Yeah, it's up to double damage territory with that Moon Shard and that Savage bonus too, capping out at like 460 damage per shot.
Lone Druid
Brutal
with
stuff.
16k reported.
Oof.
That's the highest damage I've ever seen a Lone Druid do.
Yeah, that boy is producing.
So, okay, things have shaken out a little bit more interestingly. Excelsior does beat Wintero. Wintero apparently beats Penka, and Penka did beat Excelsior at one point. So,
Yeah,
Good.
a real rock paper scissors situation.
yeah, where's the Lizard and Spock? Well, they got eliminated, so.
We can turn
Rats.
this around.
All right.
Yeah, I was checking out those Tombstone zombies, and they do benefit from that summoner buff. So even though that was a good drop, it was not enough for him to take home the previous match.
So Penka on both sides. It's now Penka versus Demons. Penka did win, but Excelsior has an extra unit on board now. The Vesture is really showing some colors here. Can't kill the unkillable units for those 6 seconds, but is that enough to turn the tide? Because I don't think so. I think there's way too much red still on the board here, as Penka will take a hit. Is this lethal? This actually might be 18 health. And Excelsior secures himself into a top 2. Penka getting that 3rd place, but how is
This is a
Wintero
double kill.
doing? It is a double kill.
Oh, boy.
Rock, paper, scissors, indeed, man. Everybody winning to their respective matches, and Excelsior loses 1 round since he picked up those demons in round 13. Goes 17-9 overall.
Yeah, that's just the strength of Warlock 3. If you can't get him, like that is just it's game over. There's just too much damage.
It does certainly seem like this is an extremely strong build, but I remember when we first saw here in Underlords, Dot Shame was the first one to show us a 3-star Warlock, and it worked out phenomenally well. Do you know what happened the rest of the game and the rest of the weeks that followed after that? Every time somebody saw a Warlock, they put him on their bench. That's what happened.
The counterplay.
Now, what happened
Interesting.
here with so many Warlocks? There are 7 out of 8 players here with Warlock splashes. How did a Warlock 3 happen for Excelsior if so many people are going for these Warlocks?
It's that early low roll you saw. You know, Excelsior was sitting down at level 4, level 5, and just sat there and rolled until he hit his mark, and he profited from it.
I just don't think there's enough vigilance out there from the others in order to stem that flow. It's really, I think, the point that happened, because getting that Warlock in round 12 at 60 health was phenomenal. It was absolutely amazing. Are you looking at the little black bar across your head there?
Oh, sorry, I messing with my ring light. That's what makes me look so pretty, you see. So.
Well, for some reason, my screen capture just absolutely wants to put a solid bar above your head, so it's something I'm
Going
gonna have
up,
to
down?
fix. No.
This is better?
It's
We're
not
good?
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not you. It's me. How many times have I heard that? So.
Beat me to the punch.
Fair enough. Round C and round D are both in rounds still. Round 27 to round 28. So I've been told here by admins, go to Group D. So we're going to pop on over. Do you have Group D on your list?
You bet.
All right.
Jumping in now.
Yeah, let's go see what's going on over here. 4 players left. 3 players left. Never mind. 2 players left.
still no Morphlings. Where
Hey,
are my
look!
Morphlings?
It's shame. Yeah, I don't know what's going on this round. I'm just letting it catch up, but... Spirits! We have a spirits build here.
Hey, there's something new.
TMZ with spirits. Shame picked up a divine rapier.
Oh, it's big time stuff now. You
Okay.
love to see rapiers, and
What?
this is the ideal time to play it.
But who does he put it on? What does he got? It looks like Hunter's Heartless Warrior. Yeah, we saw a little bit of this. There was a scaled splash in there. We got some Warlock and some Savage, strangely enough. But where did this rapier go? He hasn't put it on anybody.
That's another school of thought. When you have a rapier, you just sort of you hang on to it until you're in a sort of near-death situation. You put it on as that last-ditch effort.
So you won't lose it if you lose?
Yeah, if it's not equipped on anybody, you won't give it up if you lose.
Okay. Today I learned. Shame does have a lot of health here, so playing the long game, but I really want to go back to TMZ and look at these spirits, because these spirits are landing some fantastic triangles.
These are the most insane triangles I've ever seen in my life. Where's this when I play spirits?
Yeah, right? Let's take a quick look. Keeper, double keeper? Double 2-star keeper? Okay. Keepers combined doing 10k. Storm spirits combined doing another 9. A void spirit out there doing a 4, and then another storm for 2. So yeah, it's a full-on spirit build with 3 mages, but look at the number of spirits out there. Holy. This is a jewel comp, too. This is a jewel. This is a happy hour jewel. You can't kill those spirits that quickly,
wow.
Shame. Okay, Shame.
Yeah, and this is
Where'd you put it?
this is the
Where'd you put it, buddy?
playable jewel.
He put it on Mirana. I totally thought he was going to put it on Medusa.
It's do or die.
Medusa's multi-shot was a shoo-in for me, but that's a triangle into some horses. Here comes another round. You can see the invincible one in the corner, and that just cross-sectioned them out.
Gracious.
We're at a butcher, man. We're just cutting those prime steaks because that is going to be it. TMZ will take it with spirits of all things.
You can have all the attack damage in the world, and it means nothing if you keep getting disarmed by those spirits.
That is true. Disarm sucks. So who else was in this lobby? I'll bring up the board. Glucose, Ravenheart. Oh, good. Ravenheart made it. I like watching Ravenheart. They went out in last and 7th. So Glucose with the 6 mage, 3 void. So at least he got to like round 20-something to get that void in. It doesn't seem like it worked out, though. Ravenheart, not so hot. Does look like had a very similar build, though. Quanrong Chan with the Savage Summon Mishmash. Okay. And then Trolls. Trolls, Mages. One
Trolls have
LC
the,
comp?
Yeah, I mean, this is the state of high-level Underlords, right? You know, some lobbies you get half the lobby trying to get this, knight troll, sort of uber meta composition, and then some lobbies, maybe you get a lot of mages. Maybe you get that one guy going spirits.
This was the only jewel we've seen today. It was a happy hour jewel, had a tombstone at the end, but look at those spirits. So many spirits.
So what I'm hearing is that Jewel 100% win rate instant pick every time.
1 out of 1. Can't argue with that logic, right?
What's a sample size? I don't know anything.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's leave that. It does look like that will be it for rounds. Checking with the guys. Okay, yeah, cool. Zex is good with it. The scores are out, so we've tallied them all up. And after that round, Excelsior will maintain first place. Went from a 2nd to a 1st with those demons here, Doc. So Wintero, hot on his heels, actually tied. But since Wintero lost to Excelsior, that's the tiebreaker positioning there. Penka, Mutant K, Digi getting first place, bouncing back from 5th to a 1st. Puts him into number 6, so we'll see him in round 3. And that leaves us with Orbitix and Headers to round out Group A for round 3 coming up next.
Right, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. And we'll talk more about it when we get back. But with the scores now updated, here is the reminder of what these guys are playing for. First place after round 4 goes home with 125 cash. 2nd place, 75. 3rd place, 50. That makes it a $250 tournament right there, ladies and gentlemen. And the more points you get now, the easier you breathe in round 3. That's why I do lament that Sabas, aka Demon Stopper, with that 1 to 7, dropping down to 10th place, he's not breathing easy right now. He's
Yeah, that's a
absolutely
rough
not.
position to be in.
So it is down to the top 2 lobbies, I do believe, so top 16. So the cutoff there, back down there, is Shane, who went from apparently an 8th to a 2nd, and then Taft G with a 2nd to an 8th, right? This is the do or die time. You got to make round 3 count if you want into the final lobby, and that final lobby there will make or break your points. So it does look like the lobby is up. 39 past the hour. We'll be coming back, so we'll put 5 minutes up on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. Doc, Heckle, and Forecourt will return. Group A, round 3, here shortly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the players are ready, so who are we to deny them their match? Standard private humans only, good to go as we come into round 3, Group A. And to lead that pack, where did my volume go? Boop, there we go. To lead that pack is Excelsior 88, followed very closely, in fact, evenly, by Wintero, down through Penka and Digi down there at 5th place. So quite a race up at the top, and a lot of the rankings this round is going to be determining how well you breathe into the last round of the day.
Yeah, a good placement here puts you in a really, really good position for round 4. You definitely don't want to relent now.
There's nothing more heartbreaking than going from 1st to 8th. And Taft G went from 2nd to 8th last round, put him, in fact, out of this first Group A, as Headers is, what's he doing? Open fording, that's what he's doing.
Nice.
But Demon Stopper as well, going from a 1st to 7th, kind of did a bit of the same story. So, yeah, not great. Furbu got 17th. FML Keck W.
Oh.
Sorry, man. It's top 16 at this late into the game. Furbu, we loved watching you in round 1. We thought it was great, but if the RNGesus has spoken, then we are but disciples to his call.
There's only so much you can do. You know, that's the genre.
Big oof. Yeah, big mood right there. Next time I'll make it. That a boy. Bounce back. Take the experience under your belt. Come back a better player. That being said, Furbu's pretty good anyways, so yeah. Thanks for playing, though, Furbu. You're more than happy to hang out, tweet about the stream, go grab your friends or 100 and bring them in. You know, it's fine.
Couldn't hurt.
Watch out how the rest of it goes. So anybody you particularly want to take a look at or talk about today, Doc?
Sorry, I got pinged. What was that?
Anything particular you want to go over? We did just see a very fun-looking Spirit comp take first place in Group B last round.
Yeah, no, it's
Group D.
encouraging to see. It's encouraging to see a build that isn't Knight, Healer, Troll do well. You know, Spirit has that natural sort of disarm mechanic built in, so that could be definitely a possible remedy for that. We've seen Mage comps with Disruptors and Warlocks stand up pretty well against those from the first round. If you can't have your Omni Knight or Warlock and Necrophos heal, then the sort of durability and regeneration from those compositions are impacted in a pretty severe way. So, Knight, this sort of prevalence of Knights and Trolls is definitely very strong, but is not without its counterplay.
Knights and Trolls, well, I would actually just go with Trolls. Trolls just are the flavor of everything. They're the French fries to your main meal. They just are there, and they accentuate the main comp, and it's great. But the Knights, as we saw, right? We saw one lobby with 5 Knight players, including a Mr. Warlock, and then we saw a lobby with 0. So maybe it's a mentality thing. Maybe it's just, you know, we're all tarot card readers, just incorrectly reading the streams.
Yeah, I mean, you know, part of it's what you're offered. Maybe LC stays at the bottom of the barrel, just doesn't appear on anyone's buy screens, and sometimes it's all you see. You know, I've played plenty of games where I keep saying, like, man, if I would have just bought like all the Shadow Fiends that I've been offered, I'd have a 3-star Shadow Fiend, probably win this whole lobby. But you know, I was going like Savage or something, so it didn't make any sense.
It's always like a tempting train of thought. Man, I should have bought all these Shadow Fiends. But what you don't know is that you saw the same Shadow Fiend 8 times. Because nobody bought them.
Exactly.
That's how I rectify my mistakes. It's like, well, it's not like I saw 8 Shadow Fiends. I saw the same one 8 times.
They don't have names. You know, it's not like, oh, I saw Phil and Bob and James the Shadow Fiend. All very good demon names.
You know what? That would be, actually, in my opinion, another level of keeping track of the things you've seen. If they had, like, unique identifiers like that.
Yeah.
You know, Phil the Shadow Fiend has shown up 4 times. It's not that I could have bought 4 Shadow Fiends. It's just that Phil really wants to be my friend, you know?
Yeah, exposing that kind of information would introduce like a sort of different dimension of play. And I've got an article coming up where I discuss sort of like game design and dimensionality of builds and sort of game space that Underlords has introduced in some of the interesting ways that's developed from the beta up into sort of even this past Thursday when it comes to sort of comp decisions and economy strategies.
Now, isn't that a word that you get to use every day? Dimensionality.
Oh, I love dimensionality.
I'm going to go to work
I,
tomorrow and be like, you know what? I had a great weekend. I had a nice salad, which added a lot of dimensionality to my relaxation.
Oh yeah. Just expanding brain meme your whole vocabulary with it.
Big brain time.
Speaking of big brains, looks like Kay's on top of this lobby with what do you know? Elsie and Knights. How about that?
I was on Orbitix this whole time. Whoops. But okay, the question for me is how much dual damage? 0. Okay. That LC I think just got placed maybe.
Oh, fair.
And headers is still open forting, so
Nice. I mean, they do have the 2-star CM, couple of ogres, Razor. This kind of thing can be mitigated by going for these early druid plays to sort of supplement your board with early 2-star units, which most of the time can be effectively like having an extra unit on the board. But we shall see.
all right. Well,
We saw.
I think headers is going to buy this Crystal Maiden he has right here, but he's still open forting. So it's not going to be a very exciting game to watch. So Kay and Digi, let's go look at them. They're both streaking.
Big battle of the streaks at the top of the scoreboard there. An early Lycan too.
God, I love
Wow.
early Lycans, don't you? Like a round 4 Lycan just feels so good. What can
Yeah,
deal
if-
with that so early, right?
Lycan is so feast and famine. Like if you get him early and he gets that wolf form, that level of health can't be dealt with. But the opposite can be so true too, where if you get a late Lycan into your like Savage Summoner comp, he just turns into this wet noodle, just instantly dies as soon as he morphs.
Bit
Once
of
you get the wolves out of him.
bit of a were puppy, not a werewolf.
Oh, for sure.
Were pup. But Digi did actually win out that round, still be the only one here streaking. Savage Summoner Druid with those humans because he did find that early Lycan. This is a pretty solid early game comp, right? You got that 2-star CM in there. I don't know if it'll ever become a 3-star, but you free someone in the back. As you said, you can't deal with that level of health. You got some summons out there, and the Savage just keeps adding up. So it's a pretty good situation for Digi to be in. Should carry him fairly nicely unless he runs into some kind of like hyper rolling powerhouse with all 2-stars this early on.
Yeah, and Crystal Maiden plays an interesting role in your Savage Summoner comp because she can naturally enable a lot of pretty interesting things that exist if you don't want to go heavily into Druid. Since two Primordials are also mages, you have a pretty easy in with getting Primordials in there. Putting your summoners in there too will even make those Eidolons more beefy. This was more prevalent when Arc Warden clones made Eidolons. So his primary role went from his primary role used to just sort of be this Eidolon factory where you just like reproduce, and then die, and then turn into these Eidolons, which are really buff. But ever since they took away the Eidolon spawn on Clone Death, his role has more shifted into a sort of 3-star darling that turns into an item cloner.
Wasn't that like a bit of a roller coaster? Like 1 week, oh yeah, we're nerfing Arc Warden. The week after that, we're making him the most powerful unit in the game.
It was like people who've been around since the beta sort of saw it coming because there's like, all right, it was absolutely needless to put this poor boy into the dumpster like this. Like, what are you doing? It's like they have to make it so that he clones at 3 stars again. And 2 weeks later, that's what happened. And personally, I think that sort of design decision makes a lot of sense. Is more interesting. I mean, and it gives the people what they want. I mean, I loved the old Arc Warden item cloning, so I'm here for it.
We immediately just skipped over a pike here for Digi as he does win another round. In fact, for round 9, this should be his 8-0 because he is at 99 health. I'm pretty sure he's 7-1. He is 7-1.
Yeah, 7-1.
Look at that. So this should be streak complete if he can actually get that streak. He is the only player at 6, has been spending his money in order to keep this happening. does have a 2-star Magnus, which means his other druid becomes that 2-star, and now 3 mages in there as well. This should be a pretty good slam dunk, unless he runs into Orbitix, who does hit 6 right before the buzzer, but he finds Mutant, who does look like a little bit of a brawny start for Mutant.
Doth my eyes deceive me? A brawny comp in July? What is happening?
It does exist, just not. It's like, you know, our current law of averages. They just don't really apply here in Dota.
Right.
They exist, just
Shocking.
not that often. Yeah.
Yeah, and you kind of see why there. Mutant going for this sort of low roll strategy, trying to supplement and mitigate a lot of this damage against them.
He has 6
by...
kills in 9 rounds, Doc.
That's not great.
That's some weak medicine right there.
Yeah, but if you check out Mutant's bench, it's sitting on a couple of brawny units and really angling for that 3-star Snapfire.
Hello, Eno. 3 Enos today. This is actually a very balanced lobby. Look at that.
3 Enos, 4 Nessexes, and a lone Friendly Fire Hopkin.
I thought you were going to go like the Christmas Carol, 12 Days of Christmas there. You had a great opportunity, Doc, and you let me down.
I flushed it down the toilet. I don't know what to tell you, man.
I'll sit here on Mutant this round so we can finish your thoughts on him, but that's a lot of Eno for an Underlords, for UPL lobby.
Yeah, and they're all out attack Enos too, which I think is important to note. No healing Enos, although we do see, we have one healing summoner Nessex in the game, but Mutant is crawling ever so slowly towards this 3-star Snapfire, just one Snapfire away. But at this point, without a Viper or a Dragonite, what does that really buy you?
Well, I mean, again, like, we had nerfs and then we had buffs. The whole melting point of Snapfire got completely, like, tossed to the side, but then she got a 3-star effect. So I don't know. I don't really think that it's a super big goal, but there it is. It's happening. Mutant is the only one still at 4. That's a lie. Okay, well, there's a bunch of 2-stars. Excelsior, is he trying to make some magic happen here again? He's still down at 4, but he ain't going for Warlocks this round.
He wants that Nyx. He's sitting on 8 Nyx Assassins. He's got 5 Wind Rangers. Is this a bug-centric build from Excelsior?
Unless there's going to be a Broodmother in there, I can't imagine, right?
Yeah, I mean, dedicating this, going in this hard into Nyx Assassins is, and without the other, sort of assassins, is kind of puzzling to me.
I thought maybe it was going to be a CM, but I mean, I'm just taking the shots in the dark here. But I guess it's for, I would imagine, the Windrunners, the Drows, and that 3-star right there. Because that's what he was building into. Well, there's the second 2-star Drow. So, all right. So double 3-star bugs and some Wind Rangers and Drows. Is that going to be enough to carry into a late game?
I don't know. I mean, the 3-star Nyx Assassin effect, where you get a Vendetta every 4 hits.
Wow, that's a big text box.
Yeah, that's a lot of text. But that can be super strong. And Nyx Assassin does deliver a pretty decent amount of right-click damage at 3 stars. But how far can it take you, really? I mean, I'm looking at Excelsior now, and he is just getting completely overrun. It's such a massive unit number disadvantage.
Yeah, 4 units with 1 3-star, and it's going to be Nyx. It doesn't have the same impact as like a 3-star Warlock, right?
No,
and there's no miracle item that he's about to grab right here, because this is about the same timing, right? This is about the same timing he had that 3-star Mr. Warlock in the last round. There's no miracle item here that's going to shoot him right up the ranks. It's just not going to happen.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this 3-star Nyx is going to do a lot of damage by itself. It does not have that sort of team-wide enablement that a 3-star Warlock can provide. And it looks like he's angling for a 3-star Drow as well, but we're going to see a similar situation. That's going to make Drow pretty good, but ultimately, we won't have that sort of team-wide effectiveness still.
All right, what round is this? Round 13. Yeah, duh, I just looked at it. Excelsior with the 5 up against 7 here of Orbitix, who has been actually, been doing very well. Digi is the raid boss, as I see that. Mutant picking up his own 3-star there. But I'm just looking at this next assassin, and I'm just not super impressed with it.
Yeah, sitting sort of, sort of near the top for damage with Wind Ranger is kind of discouraging. But this is actually where an Enthrall in Essex can really come in handy. When you're low rolling like this, you're naturally going to be at a unit disadvantage, but you have powerful units. And by enthralling an enemy unit, you sort of level the playing field by having that hard shift.
Sure.
So suddenly you have this demonified unit that's going to be dealing tons of damage, particularly if they're a constant caster like a Weaver, an Ogre Magi. Oh, and there it is.
I caught that on camera.
Yeah. We watching Mutant now?
Yeah, we're watching Mutant now. This is do or die time. Both Mutant and Excelsior are going for these big 3-star rolls, but they're also both not looking so great on the board. So this is the 1 second Quillback kind of strat, and that is now a thing that you can do, which seems to be doing very well.
He always has mana for it. Look at this damage. That's devastating.
So brownies are in, boys? Is that it?
I think brownies might be back if you low roll a bristleback like this.
Now this is a bristleback with a snapfire, so with
boy.
3-star snap can really do some damage against some of these corner comps that were inevitable to see because we have so many people with those contraptions out there. 2 sets of barricades. We got 3 people with target buddies, and you know there's just going to be corner comps. So
absolutely,
we'll keep an eye.
Yeah, if you look at these really strong night comps, they're naturally going to be bunched up too, and that is like the alpha predator of these bunched up comps, because not only does it do that damage in an area, it also slows attack speed. So your Lunas, your Chaos Knights, these units that rely on hitting really fast and hitting often are definitely going to be impacted by these Mortimer Kisses.
I see that the bug is still here where you get to see the end kill before the game starts. So Bristleback got 4 kills this round, I can tell you that.
It's an absolute rollover for Mutant here against Digitams.
Yes, it is.
It is brutal to see.
The 1 second bristle, man. It's doing great. It's doing great.
Yeah, and what can't be understated here or passed over here either are the double 2-star Beastmasters, because they benefit from each other's axes.
Okay, this is now a 4 3-stars? No, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Excelsior is working on that 3-star Wind Ranger
here
too, and that's going to get real scary.
Hasn't found it. Has to go with at least some level of econ every round. We're going to be sitting on Excelsior for this round, but I mean, 5 units versus 8 of Orbitix, right?
Well, yeah, we'll see how it goes, and we'll see how far this, the mischance from these insects will carry him with this. Oh boy, that is not the unit you want to see get enthralled if you're Excelsior. That Pudge is just—he's
a big boy.
He's a big boy, but is it enough? I don't think so.
It's not. Okay, so 3 stars, quality over quantity, man. This is the guiding light of my duos when I play it, is quality over quantity. 5 versus 8, and Excelsior still shoots up. Mutant as well took the win there. Didn't exactly see how much damage he did, but, it's starting to come together. This is about what I normally expect to see, though, when you do these hyper rolls for the 3 stars, because you're down at the bleeding edge. You're going to be very close to looking, there it is, to getting knocked out. But now you start fighting back. As I said, Excelsior last round getting that 3-star Warlock and then a wristful within 2 rounds of each other before 15 was phenomenal. But this is more about usually how it goes. It's a risk, it's a gamble. It doesn't always work, but it's entertaining as hell.
I really like this item choice here by putting the Massive Madness on the Wind Ranger. As decent as her power shot is, you really just want to be hitting it as fast and as often as possible.
Look at her attack speed. It's so insane. Yeah, we have our own Quill Boar on this board. It's called Wind Ranger with Mask of Madness. Those arrows are flying fast and furious, man. And Pudge as the flesh heap here, right? Have you ever seen Akira?
I'm familiar with.
Yeah, every time I hear flesh heap, I just think of Akira. And I've seen some big Pudges, man. They get Huge.
One of the first games right after Arc Warden got patched, I wound up against a 3-star Pudge with my 3-star Arc Warden. I did not win that round, and that Pudge took up my whole screen.
Yeah, Pudgezillas, I've seen them called there as well. It can really get to some pretty ridiculous levels. That Wind Ranger did nearly 10k by herself in a round 18. That is some insane stuff. Of course, we are sitting here with the End of Medicine for an Essex, as well as a Drow Ranger, giving her that precision aura on top of things. So it's not like it's a one-woman show there. But, all right, Excelsior versus K. We'll check back in with Mutant here in a bit, just making sure that Excelsior has actually stabilized out, even at 6 units here, Doc. But so far, so good.
Yeah, it's, I mean, this Wind Ranger is continuing to produce, has, often over 500 DPS, and is just putting on a clinic.
That's a 3-star Vendetta against them, but again, that Pudge heap is up there, and he's getting to be a big boy. Woo.
Too big to be real. 7k health.
Now, look at this. Mutant, 5-game streak. Excelsior gets the 3 stars, 3-game streak. What happened to the rankings? Penka got murdered. He's just down here with a dream at 3 because he's looking for some success with the Spirits, but the Spirits are not in his corner today.
Yup.
I'm not sure that's
3-star
enough.
Earth Spirit could turn things around. I mean, that stun is not to be undersold. It could be a mini Ravage.
Yeah, that's what we do like to call it, a mini Ravage. Oh, I clicked through that too quickly. Penka taking on Headers here. Headers in the midst of his own kind of magician comp. Does have some spirits out there as well, so you want to know where the rest of the storms are? You're fighting them right now, but the cavalry does come through, and the Coddle does fall immediately after, but I think the damage is done. There's a little bit too much red still out there. The all-out attack is a good idea, but the friendly fire damage will clean house, and the mangoes will get eaten by the enemy team, and Penka goes out in 8th.
Yeah, you hate to see it when a spirit comp doesn't come together.
The Z team
doesn't really have any favors in his court anyway, because of Digitans and Headers sort of sitting on top of the leaderboard with mage comps of their own.
I'm looking at K versus Mutant, and Warlock is getting stunned, but Warlock will heal itself here in a minute. It's an Eno versus Warlock bloodbath, as the Brawnies will win by 2.
Good.
How does that happen?
Oh, man. That is, when it comes down to like those sort of like just back alley brawls, when it's just like 1 unit versus 1 unit, it's those things can go either way, and this time it fell in the path of the Eno.
Hey Doc, you remember that time? I mean, this was a great time, right? It was round 9, and we had 6 kills for Mutant on his Brawnies.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, 11 rounds later, he's up to 60.
Oh my goodness.
27? Well, 29. Well, nope, it's 27. So the Bristlebacks are getting 2 kills this round. 27 of those are on that Bristleback, and that's a big beefy boy himself. 9k health to lead the pack.
Yeah, I don't see that Bristleback like being ineffective anytime soon. Although we got this 3-star and 3-star action against Excelsior's Ghost, it looks like that might be too spooky for Mutant.
The Quill board just kind of got kited out from the corner. If he had been in that corner with all those quills spraying, might have been a bit of a different story. But he kind of just went a little bit more on a walkabout there. So it's not like undefeatable. As it turns out, Excelsior's Ghost doing phenomenal. But Excelsior's style of going for 3 stars is now 2 for 2 on par for murking people and getting into top placements.
I mean, I really think that it is a sea change that's coming up with more of these 3-star bonus, 3-star bonuses going on to units. We're going to see a lot more common low rolling. I mean, the effectiveness is just undeniable. Like, we're seeing this ascendance of Mutant, the ascendance of Excelsior, even after having these like really miserable early game goes. It's like when it clicks, it clicks.
It's great when it clicks, too. As a commentator, as a spectator, these are the games that you want to see. It gets your blood pumping. It gets the commentators excited, and the viewers get a taste of something that's not just knights slapping each other for 20 minutes,
Yeah, that's certainly true. Certainly true.
That's an important aspect, and if you want to have an esport, you need to have that spectatability. And Well, this might not have been a great spectator round for Excelsior because he is about to take a pretty big hit here. But it's an important thing that a lot of people don't quite realize. You know?
Yeah, I mean, particularly when, in these late game situations where these fights can, the focus goes away from the individual units and kind of shifts more into like these sort of like tides of red and green slamming into one another. It's important to sort of have a good visual language of what's going on. And if you were playing last week, that was rough when anybody got a Cadence Blade because there was that glitch where everything just had like that purple glow whenever anything got hit.
Yeah, I saw that. That was weird, I'll tell you that. All right, so Excelsior not undefeatable, down to 15 health. K and Wintero down there as well. My, how the mighty have fallen. Mutant there at 4th, Optix 3rd, and Headers down at 2nd. Digi is up against the Clones. We're not going to watch him. Let's check out Wintero, who is at 10 health here. Digi has mages. We've already had a mages eliminated. This does look like Wintero with his 4 Trolls, 4 Knights comp with an LC out there. This is actually doing extremely well up against Excelsior with those 3 stars. The Hunters just not able to really penetrate through these Knights. And, that Wind Ranger is really trying her darndest and actually still might turn it. But there's a big stun. That's a big stun. That's a big cast going back and forth. The cast isn't enough. It's not. She lives.
My God.
The Necro brings her down to 60 health.
I can't believe it. That's the kind of dreamboat cast you want out of your witch doctor. That still wasn't enough.
Wintero's like, what the hell just happened?
Oh my God. And you think like, this is the kind of comp that can do well against Hunters because they have the good physical resist, they have the sustain to survive the sustained damage with the healing from Dazzle, from Necrophos, from Omni Knight, but still it comes down to those late situations where those 3 stars were really shining.
All right, Wintero, 3 health in a dream. K not doing so much better at 4. So Excelsior versus K, Mutant versus Wintero.
Boy.
Let's see how these Brawnies are doing. They were at 60 kills just a few rounds ago, and they seem to be actually holding their own here. But that's a lot of healing coming out here. These Knights Trolls are not to be underestimated, and it looks like they are able to weather this storm. The Eno stun will go through, buys the Branos a few seconds, but Wintero will live to fight another day, and it's going to be Mutant who's going to take a grand ol' 18 to the face.
Yoy. Yeah,
and that is it for K as well. Rip K, 7th place.
Yeah, I mean, that just goes to show. Check out the leaderboard. You got your Knights, you got your Trolls, you got your healers, 6th, 7th. And, other lobbies, we see them being a sort of a more dominant force, but here, not so much.
Mages first, Mages last. Makes sense. Yep. Druid Splash. There was definitely a few good weeks of Druid Splash, and it's kind of doing work. You know what? I don't think these are, like, real comps. These Brutes, I think they're just doing the weekly. I think they're just killing units with the weekly, because this all counts towards it,
Oh, yeah, everybody wants to finish off the early bird, because I'll tell you what, that portrait this week, pretty sick. I'm a big fan.
And Digi already has it, if you haven't noticed yet.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Okay, I'm sitting here with Mutant on the Brawnies. 81 kills up against Headers, who is actually at the top of the board. And you can see why. The double Cavalry. They're off to the races, and they're just dragging your corpse behind them. That's going to be the 3-star Bristleback up against the rest. But is that enough? There's going to be a lot of beer damage coming through, but they have enough health to make it a win.
That Bristleback is such a boss. He's just walking around. He's spitting quills. He's slapping people. It's rough.
Rip Wintero. He's going to be taking a dirt nap into 6th place right there. 41 kills on the Bristle. There's no cap on this, unlike the Pike. So Bristle is well and above 10k health now. Heart of Tarask on Brawnies, you say?
Oh boy, that can be
He took it.
In the world of Dodo, they like to talk about this concept of a win condition. Like, if this hero can get this item, you've pretty much just won. Woo! If you can get this objective, you win. And 3-star a 3-star Beastmaster is going to be extremely effective against
with a heart.
With a heart. That is a lot of health. That's going to be a lot of damage. And is there not a summoner? You check out Digitam's up on top. He's relying on summoners for part of his part of their build, and the 3-star Beastmaster effect.
All right, Digi.
We'll see it right here.
Well, we might. So I'm a little curious, Bristleback with 41 kills on that cloak does technically get more health than that heart, but that heart has that regen, and I would have probably put on the machine gun Bristleback myself. But hey, either way, the 3 stars are doing the work. You can see the damage being done as Digi is desperately trying to summon his way out of this one. That silence will actually stop the Beastmaster just for a moment, but is there enough damage to beat out this heart? The axes go through.
Axes of my life.
It was insane damage. I don't think we're going to get another Lone Druid hit here, so that heart has certainly paid off. Digi will take 5, and Mutant will eat all those summons for breakfast.
Oh, John Wick Beastmaster, let's go.
28 kills and counting.
Inspiring stuff.
So again, like, they put it on the Beastmaster. I got to wonder, could it have been better on the Bristle? But either way, a win is a win, so good job, Mutant.
Yeah, I mean, an inspiring show, just chewing through the head honcho with all this brawny health. It's just too big to fail.
All right, Excelsior is down at 3 health here, Doc, so I'm going to take a quick look at him because this is the 4 3-star comp. This is the most 3 stars we've seen in any lobby here today on stream. Excelsior is going up against Digi. Digi just really wants to make sure he can get this first place by taking out all these low-level health people. That's a silence in the corner, but these are hunters. They don't care. That Wind Ranger just getting right back to business and just murking peeps. We got a Doom on that Nyx. That wasn't great. So he's going to go down. We do have that Horn of the Alpha now actually pulled out, but the horses are real. Digi will bounce back from the loss and should take the win here. I don't know. It's going to be close. The silence will seal it, and Excelsior takes lethal for 5th.
Too close for comfort. I mean, you know, Excelsior was going for those early rolls to get those 3-star units, and unlike his contemporary Mutant, who did much the same, just could not pull out a top 4 finish.
That was so close, though. That Wind Ranger, the silence was, you know, kind of a big deal right there.
Yeah, devastating static storm that round.
Did good stuff. All right, Orbitix, 5 health, 9 units. In fact, Mutant, the only one who doesn't really look like they have any interest in moving up in the unit rankings. So it's going to be 9 across the board for everyone else. Orbitix versus Headers here. Headers at 23. Orbitix looking down the barrel of an elimination. That Mirana doing some work. Does not get hit by the horses as they come through, but the rest of the comp is not doing so great. There's some bounces going on here. I saw a Lich ult out there, and now with the friendly fire coming out, a not-so-friendly 18 damage to put Orbitix into 14. Then the Mutant's out! The Brawnies go down to Digi. The revenge is had. Digi's extra unit proved too much, and this has become a top 2 game all of a sudden between Digi and Headers, looking for that first place going into round 4 of the finals.
Wizard fight, wizard fight, wizard fight. We got mage on mage action for this top slot. I am pumped for this.
Yeah, the one mage goes out in 8th, and the other 2 are top 2. Who would have guessed?
Yeah, it's. I mean, this has certainly been quite a lobby with, you know, low roll strats. Knights underperforming considerably, and now we got 2 mages fighting out for this top slot.
So Digi has the advantage in health, but we do have Headers hiding behind not only a tombstone, but as well those barriers. So out comes one set of horses. We got the bounce coming from that Lich, but I don't think those barriers really made a damn difference here, Doc. That's a lot of red that you're fighting, and you don't have a lot of green to do it with. So Headers is gonna take a hit here. The summons are good, 15 health, and Digi with the 3 streak feeling fantastic going into round 29.
Man, that Keeper of the Light with the Legbreaker's Fedora really doing work that round.
Mechanism.
Not so much with the physical damage, but with the with all those blasts, just devastating stuff.
So fun things, counters and counters and counters of counters. Digi picks up a refresher, which I have to assume is going on either the Lone Druid or the Keeper. It does look like it's on the Lone Druid right now, so we're going to get even more Spirit Bears out there. But we have a second one on the Disruptor, which is great against mages. But Headers, at the same time, his unit of choice, or his pickup of choice, was a mechanism. So he's going to have those horses come right through, instantly heal. But, God, there's so much to heal through.
Yeah, it is a precarious situation for Headers as Digitaniums puts on a second Keeper of the Light after hitting 10. He's got the Refresher Bear,
Woo!
the Refresher Static Storm, and oh man.
Static Storm 1 is so good, Doc.
I think this is it. It's cooked, friends.
It doesn't even need a second one. GG, well played. Digi, back-to-back victories for sure will shoot him right up in the rankings. If you recall, it was Excelsior and Wintero at the top before this round happened. They go out in not great places. Panka down in 8th is going to plummet, and Digi going to be rising, if not the top, but into at least a top 3 position, which is a fantastic place to be going into round 4. So once again, here's your builds. Doc, mages are doing great today, but no 3-star morphs as of yet.
I'm holding out for it, Jester. Like, I really, really want to see it. I'd like to point out that Digi opted for a just splash 2-star lone druid even before he got that refresher orb, which is a strange inclusion to me. But I mean, it paid off.
It works, right? Hey, a win is a win is a win, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so I do believe Group B has finished up. Let's take a quick look-see. Yep, they definitely have. The scoreboard just came through. And actually the last lobby generated here as well. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the scoreboard looks as thus. Digi does rise like the cream of the crop right to the top. He goes from 5th to 1st, puts him in at 35 points. Mutant second with a third, 1/3, pretty respectable. Excelsior with that 5th does plummet down from his first place ranking into 3rd, and right on his heels is Headers. Wintero is there with the 5th place as well. Tomato does cling on with a 6 as he got 1st place in Group B this round. Congratulations to Tomato. He did not have a good showing in round 2 with that 6th place. But TMZ 7th to 1st to 2nd puts him in at the final lobby, and Orbitix sneaks in with a 244 ranking at 26 points. There's a spread of 9 between the top and bottom. Ace is still anybody's game. 1st place will get you 15. 8th goes out in 1st. So this means if Orbitix gets 1st and Digi gets last, and you kind of flip it all around, anybody can actually take home the money. Anybody absolutely can do that.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolutely electrifying final lobby here. Shout out to TMZZ. Places 7th in his first game. Comes right back. Makes the final round. Just goes to show anything can happen.
Yeah, RNGesus giveth and RNGesus taketh away. Doc, this means that we're into our last round, the last of the office hours for us. So let's take a quick break, come right back into it. Players are getting into the lobby. So without further ado, we shall see you in 5 for the finals of the Grand Finols Season 8. Stay tuned. That's the wrong button. But hey, 30 seconds left on the scoreboard. But you know what? Boom. We can't wait. We want to get right into it. So that's what we're bloody going to do. Me and the doc here giving you the action, prescribing the comps. And the winning comp seems to be very variable today. Doc, what do you make of that?
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of stuff. We've been seeing a lot of knights, a lot of mages, an assassin here and there, some low rolling, some really interesting build diversification this week.
It's been pretty fantastic overall, to be honest. We even got to see a Brawny. It's great.
Yeah. Did they do super well?
They got fifth, fourth.
They're
fifth.
still here.
They got fifth.
That was Wintero, right?
Mutant.
Mutant, right? Yeah. Ugh. It's been too long. You know?
When you play this many games, they all start running together, don't they?
Yeah, well, we'll see how the builds fall in this grand finals, final round of the grand finals. It's one's for all the marbles.
The Grand Finols is
Gotta stay on brand.
yeah. In fact, actually, I'm gonna change it to actually say Grand Finals. Boom. Easy peasy. Okay, yeah. So I had to get this joke explained to me, but you know why it's called the Grand Finals, I would imagine.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
good
on
old
top of
Finol.
it.
I'm
had
an
to,
old head,
yeah,
you
they had to
see.
explain it to me, but what is he? The lead designer?
I believe he's the head of the dev team for Underlords.
So lead designer, I would say. Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's definitely very active in that Discord that people like to take screenshots of in the beta.
Yeah, but that's why we call him the Grand Finols, because Finol there is definitely a high-ranking dev. If he's watching, yeah, it would be great for say something
nice
in
to get
chat. Know that
Maybe
all
a
of our
retweet
efforts.
from the official account, you know.
Yeah, if I just randomly get followed by the Underlords account, I wouldn't mind. You know, I got lots of great feedback. I'll tell you where to go with it. Let's get that esports scene rolling, baby. You know.
Yeah, support the scene.
But it hasn't happened yet, Doc. One day.
One day.
It's all good. Okay, so last lobby. I did not look at any of the builds. So is there anything special out there that we want to look at?
Orbitix actually coming out pretty strong with an early mage
Three
build
open forters. Sorry.
three. Yeah, that is a little discouraging to see here in the grand finals, but grand finals.
I mean,
but,
if it wins, it wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Orbitix.
Yeah, Orbitix is opening up strong, streaking hard, and has a 2-star ogre just out there in front with a chainmail.
Dang. Good luck killing that guy, right?
Yeah, and it always kind of feels bad when you get early mage or like you're putting yourself in a position for a magic damage heavy comp and you don't get that early Kaya, which can really jack up your numbers early on.
Oh, Digi. No, he doesn't have another druid. He has this 2-star Magnus, but no druid to go with it. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, it's a definite feels bad scenario.
Digi's the only one to go up to 4 units this round, as a note. So he did, okay, more open affording. But Digi did lose first round, but now he's up to 4 units with a 2-star Magnus. So he might be trying to hedge bets going up to 4 this early. If he can get 2 wins in the next 2 rounds, right, he'll start streaking, and then he'll have double 2-star druids on board. So that's a bit of a gamble, but it could work.
Yeah, it's that high risk, high reward. Getting an early 3-star unit from the Druid bonus can definitely put you in a good position to start generating a lot of econ.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if he gets like 3 Nature's Prophets, then good luck beating him early.
Yeah, for real. You're going to be swarmed by the tree people.
Speaking of trees, I'm clicking all the trees that I get. Oh, I see you clicking. Yeah. Orbitix and Mutant are the only 2 current streakers. That's the beginning of the end, though. Digi just found a treant. So yeah, I think this will be a great gamble for him personally.
Oh yeah.
And he has a sacrificial warlock. Wow, what the heck happened to Wintero? Hello, wait, go over to the Wintero board because this is pure 2 stars.
Wow, yeah, a lot of really good early luck from Wintero, just with the Chaos Knight, early Warlock, early Bloodseeker, and it looks like it's doing wonders for him.
That Bloodseeker's not doing great. I mean, I'm actually a little surprised it didn't die right there, but it took a while to overtake the Chaos Knight damage.
Yeah.
But a win is a win.
Yep. Ends up on the top of the damage charts and does, Bloodseeker doing Bloodseeker things.
I still maintain that early 2-star Chaos Knight is the best Knight combo you can start off with.
I would agree there. It's just so much damage, so much chuffed. If you have another Knight, it's hard to go up against.
All right, so here's the question now. Will Wintero stay at 3? He's one of the only people still down here at 3. We've seen Mutant stay low. We've seen Excelsior stay low. But Wintero has a 2-star Warlock, a 2-star CK, has this Bloodseeker and a Bat. Are we going to look for a Hyper Roll strat from here on out?
Well, he's definitely down to 10 gold, which is on the lower end of economy. He's sticking at 3 for now. That open fort win's definitely going to help him out a bunch.
Ooh, 6 damage to Headers. That feels bad.
Now, was Headers open forting the previous game?
Yes.
Yeah.
He open forted into, like, mages, and I don't know. He certainly survived, right? But
Yeah, you're in the final lobby.
usually it's 5 or 6 rounds that you see the open fort. You usually end up between 70 and 80 health. And then you start placing your hyper rolled units, and you do great things. But we'll have to keep an eye on that to see if it happens. While that happens, Orbitix, who again does have that new profile pick, is the only one, does have a 4-unit start, is currently the only one streaking, and has really made that early 3-mage work with a Lycan before round 5.
Now, this I really like. I'm liking this build.
That was
Now,
good,
but
though.
the early human can be a really good complement for mage, because it's just like the mana regeneration, getting all those spells out from, mages that usually have trouble generating mana without items early on. And hey, again, if it works, it works.
I thought that was cute. Like, we have everybody in that back corner. And, okay, well, the CM will actually take down the Ogre Mage and survive an extra 2 health there from Orbitix. But that was Header's first round, by the way, of putting down units. But
It's a rough first round.
he had the contraptions. He put them down right at that barricades. And then it's like, haha, you can't get back here. And then the Storm Spirit just, like, boops right into the middle of it and, well, made a bit of a razor sandwich. That was cute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, that the barricades can be sort of your best friend and your worst enemy. Putting the ogre there with the choke point keeps Razor and CM back, and that could mean some stymie damage early on, but at the cost of more health. And it can go one of 2 ways, and it broke bad for Headers.
So again, something to note here: round 7, 4 people still at 3, 4 people at 4 by round 7. Looking at some of the cash, there's definitely some rolling going on. I'm just kind of curious to see who will actually get it done.
Now, Wintero's one of these guys at 4, but has just rolled all the way down to the nubs and is going for this very wide strat with Warlock, Troll, and Knight.
Oh. Orbitix lost, but he lost to Trance, so he loses streak but doesn't lose health.
That's the worst. That's the summoner victory. Those zero health wins early on before the Underlords pop up. It's like, ugh.
Who do you want to watch?
Let's take a look at Excelsior's got some spicy stuff going on.
He just went to 5. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, popped up to 5. He's got that Druid Savage going on. He's up against Headers with that barrier strat.
Yeah.
And
The barrier strat ain't working very well for Headers so far.
yeah, it's that unit spam. It's the cleave from Magnus. It is not going to end well for him.
Orbitix's first legitimate loss to Tomato there as well. Wintero up to 5 streak, Excelsior 5 streak there as well. So things are settling down. We're going to get another item here, and then very soon those Underlords. But Excelsior with the Druid Splash basically makes a 5-unit 2-star board, right? Digi was the one that had that super early Druid Splash with the 2-star, but he hasn't been able, or he hasn't even bothered, to look for another 2-star Druid. So he only stays at 2-star boards.
Yeah, interesting itemization from Digi as well, opting for that Ogre Cap and putting it on Lifestealer of all people, not the Wind Ranger with the higher attack rate.
There's nobody to combo it with, actually.
Even worse.
It's just a useless
It's a
cap.
bad choice, but certainly, yeah, he's sitting on a couple Warlocks in his bench. He's up to 4 out of 9 for that, that really, really good Demon strat. So
Is that the way he's going, though? Because he's also at 5 units. He's rolling at 4. With that Druid Splash, I kind of expected him to kind of go places, not sit around.
That's true. The whole lobby's kind of sitting at 5 now, so maybe we won't be seeing as such a aggressive rolling that we did in the previous round.
Well, if multiple people have these Warlocks on benches, right, that's virtually impossible then to get those Warlock builds rolling. And if I look through, right, there are
It is most of the
5
lobby.
people with Warlocks, either on board or on bench. So it's not happening. It's absolutely
Yeah.
not happening.
A couple patches ago, they even reduced the amount of T1 units, if memory serves,
Thought
from
they
like
increased.
45 to 30, or maybe it was 245 from 30.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Yeah, I forgot which way that went. So
3
that
jewels?
I mean,
Sorry, I didn't expect this. 3 jewels in the lobby.
100% win rate. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, it's not going to stay up anymore.
Yeah, what is most shocking to me is that somebody actually went for Barrels of Fun Jewel, which I think is hands down the worst Underlord and ability combo in the game currently.
When you need a beefcake, you take the beefcake.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's all there
I mean,
is
and
to
that's
it.
in a mage brute comp too. So I guess that's a comp that's sort of starved for frontline. So take what you can get.
I understand why you get 2 brutes for your mage comp, because the ogre mage counts as a mage brute. But like past that, I don't really know why we go into the 4 brute situation.
It can be a good source of physical DPS for like a more mixed comp, but honestly, it seems more like a nice to have. I mean, the heyday of 4 brute is far in the rear view.
Now, I watch a lot of, or I did, I actually haven't seen him streaming in a while, Takumatsu. The Brute Master. He's a Lord of the White Spire. It's literally his stream name, Brute Master. But he almost always plays Brutes. And he's done tournaments in UPL and others where he plays his Brutes comps. But haven't seen him play in a while, so maybe the lack of interesting ways to go for the season has kind of put a break. But yeah, I learned a lot about how to use Brutes and how to position Brutes and how to itemize Brutes from him.
Yeah, and it brutes are certainly strong, but we haven't seen a terrific amount of assassins.
It's true.
At least I haven't in my pubs. We've only seen like one person go assassin here on stream today, and brutes are the natural enemy of the assassin with that physical debuff and just general chuff to those units.
I'd even say they hold their own against knights, not simply because of sustain, but simply because you can curb down their damage output pretty significantly for a while. Let your mages build up and kind of take control of the match from there. But if you run into the hunters or the other mages, it kind of falls apart because you can't get to them.
Yeah. Positioning is always key. Getting good items as well. For survivability, for damage, for mana generation in that brute mage comp is paramount.
So, from top to bottom here, Doc, Orbitic sitting up at 90, Digi very close to that, but down at the bottom is the open forting headers. So, what did we open fort into? Looks like a Mage Druid splash with those brutes, and they've had these barricades here, but this is the Barrels of Fun comp that you weren't super sold on.
Yeah, it's, I mean, these Underlord abilities kind of fall into one of 2 sort of camps when it comes to reliability. You've got Friendly Fire, Barrels of Fun. Those are contingent on just sort of like, I hope the barrels roll the right way, or I hope the Friendly Fire bombs land in the right places. And even to an extent, Enthrall kind of falls into that camp too. It's like, well, I hope I have enough manpower once that drops that can we can take down that enthralled unit and convert them over to our side. On the other side of the coin, you've got things like All Out Attack, a Nexus Golem, Let's Go Crazy, where those are definite. You always get the best scenarios of those given your board state. Because they just affect everything, and there's no like qualifier there. So Barrels of Fun is notoriously bad in my opinion because it is one of those sort of hit or miss abilities and the advantages you get out of Barrels of Fun just isn't really that great.
Well, Headers needs to have a barrel of fun up against TMZ, but I've actually got Tomato up here because I want to talk about him. Not to say that your analysis wasn't great at all, because that really does explain a good bit. Just didn't get that information to you in time. Sorry about that. But yeah,
No
we
worries.
had Tomato up. Tomato is now the lowest of everyone with Hunters? Like, question mark? I don't really know where he's going with anything here.
Yeah, Hunter Vigilant with a splash of Druid
Tomato.
is tough, and also went for Friendly Fire here. And that burst damage can be quite good, but just something isn't clicking for Tomato.
Well, we have no real protection is the first thing I noticed. Okay, we go up to 7. That was a very needed go up. So Tomato does get finally Heartless in. This will definitely help out the back line, but hey, there's just no front line to speak of, right? You got Magnus. That's kind of it, right?
Yeah, and that's what makes Barrier, or a Barricade rather, so important if you're going for a Hunter comp, because you need that sort of protection for your DPS engine in the back.
Wow, this okay, I said, you don't have a front line, but when Magnus doesn't die, he just doesn't die. So that actually worked out fine for Tomato. Took 4 there from Digi. It was a bit close, but he still was able to eke it out. So it can work when the 3-star bonus lands on Magnus, but when it lands on Nature's Prophet, it kind of feels bad.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great, but having those backline treants does disrupt the sort of flow of attention for the enemy unit's comp as well, where that power comes in. But from that last match, we saw Tomato positioned to do some decent damage with their win, but that's the strength of Friendly Fire too. Now that's pure damage, you can mitigate losses so much better than you could with when it was just magic damage.
Okay. This is Tomatoes and Headers. Headers has not been doing great. Tomato is kind of down there in the trenches with them as well. The Barricades are actually absolutely not holding up here for Headers, as Tomato just does start to inch forward little by little. Barrels do come through, but the Friendly Fire is going to be so much more potent in that corner. All of a sudden, it's just Jewel left, and he just goes flying.
Yeah, those barriers went down like a wet paper bag. It was just absolutely chewed through by that Hunter DPS.
At least they weren't cabbages.
At least they weren't cabbages.
Mutant down here with Wintero is still actually going head-to-head. Looks like Mutant will actually take a 10 hit. Mutant. Okay. Mutant has some spirits for us. Trying to protect that CM in the corner with a Jewel out there as well. We saw this work with TMZ in round 2, Group B.
Yeah, it's not quite popping off as hard in
Definitely
this
not.
lobby. But, I mean, there's still a lot of game to go. We are 16 rounds in, so we're sort of hitting the midpoint of this final round here. And yeah.
Okay. Will we see some pretty sick triangles? With corner comps, it's typically a little bit hard, but it does look like that comp is not exactly solid. Pretty good first triangle. Will we get another? The Shadow Fiend does respond with AoE of their own, and the Barrels of Fun are coming in, so everybody is going to be low here on green. Crystal Maiden actually freezing the other Crystal Maiden in the corner, but I think the Spirits got this one.
Yeah, that was an incredible Delta Slam. Pretty much hit the dead center of the board, chopped everyone up, and although we saw some valiant efforts from the opposing Crystal Maiden, it was Mutant that took that home.
So we're watching Headers kind of indirectly by just continuously watching his opponents, but Headers is really starting to get into some danger zone here.
Yeah, big pickup for Mutant with that mango tree.
Absolutely.
And is actually nursing a Legion Commander?
Question mark. I mean, that's a spirit.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh, boy.
Headers. Finally, the answers to the prayers of an 18-kill maiden with a stone cloak. That's what you want to see.
The last woman standing, for sure, in this map, just hanging out there in the corner with Jewel.
Double
Is
razors.
it gonna be enough, though?
Double razors and a Shadow Fiend. I don't know.
Two-star Shadow Fiend with Silver Edge. That could be a lot of DPS.
There's some Morphlings on bench, but again, not really going to be seeing that 3-star, it seems, today. It's just a bit too risky when there's money on the line. Spirits come in as headers versus Orbitix, and that's some pretty big, significant burst damage coming out. Red all of a sudden is disintegrating. The Barrels of Fun do come in. The Spirits are down, and the Razors are really starting to add up some damage here. The CMs in the back take down kind of one at a time, and now that's not going to be enough barricades for that Nature's Prophet at all.
That Shadow Fiend ult was just absolutely devastating. Hit so many people. Just tasty stuff from Headers.
So is this the key? Does Headers at round 17 finally getting a CM? Is that what we needed to keep this dream alive?
It's the turning point. I mean, hey, that's a lot of damage from Razors too. Really good targeting from Crystal Maiden for those frostbites. It's starting to look up.
All right. Well, Wintero does actually drop down. We're going to do one more round here with Headers, as nobody quite has the heartbeat ticking. But this is up against Digi, currently reigning supreme. 8 units apiece. Digi going to just be moving forward. He doesn't need no barricades whatsoever. We'll find that tree-on-tree action does go down. The heal's not going to be enough. The front line does evaporate as Digi does lose 2 units. The Jewel will get the barrels going, but there's some Wind Rangers shooting. In the back, the Razors are just doing work.
Yeah, and even though that poor Nature's Prophet at 3-star got not only demonic purged but doomed there at the end, could not get those couldn't get those trees out, but it didn't matter. It's the Shadow Fiend damage. That 2nd star and that unit promotion really puts that hero on another level, and that damage output, top of the charts.
It is top of the charts, but you put those Razors together and they do actually outperform the Shadow Fiend. That's a Morphling too going in 100%.
Oof.
So Headers not exactly going to be holding a lot of cash, right? But he's chomping at the bit to find these other Razors. But the problem is he's at level 8. It's an 18% chance to find that Razor. So if he overspends, he could go straight down. But if he finds it naturally, he'll be in a really good spot. Could it swap over to Wintero, though, Doc? Because this is a heartbeat. This is a potential getting into that zone of damage to be eliminated. What is going wrong with the 4 Knights, 4 Trolls?
That's a great question. Currently just, well, first off, Wintero's an item down. Choosing not to put the Mask of Madness on anybody.
Oh, that's big.
I guess just not confident in, no Luna, I think?
We have not seen, like, any Lunas today. We saw, I think, one, and I don't even think she stayed in, right?
Yeah, I want to say she got rotated out, but yeah, the itemization is kind of strange. Does take home a win there against TMZ, but I mean, the mango tree is not the optimal thing you want to see in a night club. But hey, there's a Stonehall Cloak, there's a Vanguard for just general durability, and 61 dual damage on that Legion Commander.
Wintero sold the Medusa and the Sven that he had on bench. Instead bought a Dazzle. Not sure what's going on there. 8 units, though. Oh, how much? Oh, no, there's no way Wintero can go to 9, I don't think. He's so far away from it.
Half of this lobby is under 20 gold, which means that they've rolled down to either to level up or to just buy out. And I don't know. It's looking pretty do or die for some of these people in this generally pretty tight lobby.
There's 2 players at 9, the rest are at 8, so they're going to have some decent advantages. Wintero and Headers are tied at 8 apiece, but the green is certainly not winning up against the red on this one, just looking at some of these bars. We did actually get an enthrall on top of that Morphling, but it wasn't a 3-star by any means, so didn't exactly turn the tide of battle. The Jewel is still going strong and is just going to break a chair over an Essex's head, and that's 7 more health towards elimination here for Wintero. There is a few things to go over here, Doc, before the next round comes in. We'll let them choose their items. To beat Digi in this lobby, you have to place better than him, right? But it depends on where in the top 8 you end up. Digi has to beat Excelsior, because Excelsior is number 2, and Excelsior is not looking good on the health right now.
Yeah, 21 health is not a ideal position.
Digi also has to stay ahead of Mutant, and he is kind of doing that right now. But it's really that Mutant is the bigger threat. He has to stay ahead of him by 1 place, Excelsior by 2 places, and now that we're getting down to the bottom here, these bottom 8, where you do land will be your final spot, but it's all relative to Digi.
Yeah, now that we're in the final round, these points do matter. This is not whose line. So you've got to, consider, who you're beating and how badly you're beating them by.
I've just been watching this Nyx assassin in the back beat up this mango tree. Now the spider's gonna get it. Nope, I lied. No infestation here. The fumigation came in 11 health on the mango tree. That's all that Nyx did. That's all the Nyx assassin did.
Just slap in the mango tree.
He actually threw out a stun, and it looks like some of the AoEs stunned some of the units, but that was it. Like, that and a spider all wasted their time on mango trees, and it didn't even win. So Wintero, we said bad things about this mango tree, but it's basically a target dummy for assassins.
Yeah, like the targeting priority is strange on that thing. Sometimes I see like units get back there and just start wailing on it, even though they're like definitely more viable targets. It's odd.
All right, a lot of people looking sore right now. Excelsior going out in 8th will devastate his top 3 chances, and he's at 10 health. TMZ at 13. Either side could actually drop right here. Excelsior has to beat out Tomato and who's the other? DMZ and Headers. Like, this is looking pretty dire, Doc.
Yeah, there was an absolutely phenomenal Sand King stun from Excelsior on this map, and his Summoner Savage, or his Summoner Savage comp is dominating this board. It will not be this round that he goes out.
19 for Tomato, but how often do you get to say that? Devastating stun from Sand King. The Sand King makes the Force Savage. I don't get to see that every day.
Yeah, definitely not. I know from personal experience, when you start to go for a deep Savage build, going to either 4 or 6, Sand King gets removed from the game. You can't find him. He's a very late game unit. It's just the odds are never in your favor. And now you look at Excelsior, he's got 2.
Yeah.
So if he's looking to make a late run, he's got luck on his side.
Well, that adds another 100 damage to the Burrow Strike, but also applies a stack of Caustic Finale, and that Caustic Finale will jump to 100 damage AoE. So, yeah, if he can make it happen. Are we saving cash? Not saving cash. Found a Lone Druid, and he's locked it, though. So, a Lone Druid 2 would go a long way here as well with the Druid bonus. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this entire lobby is pretty much rolled down or bought out, except for Orbix. He's the only one floating more than 30 gold plus. Everyone else is just down to 0 or single digits.
Well, it's a fight of the single digits. Excelsior and Wintero, both on their last legs, fighting each other out here. Round 23. The Knights are moving forward. The Savage Summoners maybe not getting enough done. The Mangoes are starting to accumulate in the back, but there ain't nobody there to eat them because the full front line of Wintero is just crashing into the corner of Excelsior, and there might be some last-ditch efforts here by Spirit Bears, but Tomato goes out first. TMZ knocked him down. Excelsior sneaks in a 7th at a -17. That got super lucky for Excelsior there.
Yeah, just sliding in under the door and getting his hat. Does not finish last, but I doubt he went into this lobby expecting, really hoping for a 7th place finish.
The bigger part, I think, is that Digi at 49, I don't think is lost rounds. If he wins this round, he'll be streaking just like TMZ here is. So Wintero, knocking down Excelsior, that basically just Excelsior's chances of a top 3. Tomato wasn't in the top 4, I don't think, and now going out at 8th is almost certainly going to be staying down in the lower of the 8 placements. But Wintero and Mutant, Mutant's the next big threat for Digi in the placements.
Decent Delta Slam from Mutant here, but will it be enough to crack through this hard and crunchy Knight exterior?
Just like my Oreo cookies. Nom, 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 nom. Oh my god, TMZ actually loses out to Headers. Didn't see that one coming. Wintero and Mutant. I think this is a Mutant win, Doc. They can't get through that tree, but at the same time, there's only mages doing damage. Mango Tree is being the MVP.
Oh my god. The shotgun blast from behind the mango tree.
Now, Wintero does not go out. There wasn't enough damage on board to take him into a final resting place. But TMZ out, again, kind of eliminates that there as well. Digi did lose. This is important. TMZ was streaking, got murdered. Mutant now streaking. Digi was at the top, is now second. So nobody here is undefeatable by any means. Orbitix is up to 10. I think you were saying he was the only one floating 30 plus, and now that's come into quite the windfall for him. That's the end of the units from Orbitix. Does not need to save money. Wintero at 3, Headers at 10, and Mutant 22 are your next likely eliminations.
Huge drop here from Wintero. Gets the Troll Warlord, puts the Mask of Madness on him. Talk about win conditions. That can certainly be one of them.
Yeah, you were
the
talking
damage
about
output is going to be insane.
You were talking about how he was down an item, right? Now he's made a good use of it.
And here he is.
All right, that Sand King, not exactly the best. Nobody's going to blow up. Good silence on the mages in the back. However, Orbitix, this guy's at the top of the lobby for a reason. The dunks are coming through. That axe is on board, securing a 5th place for Wintero. Mutant takes 13, which means he's down to single digits, and Mutant is now at least guaranteed a top 4. But, again, if Digi goes out first, not likely, but it can, Mutant stands to gain an extra placement in the cash proceeding.
Yeah, absolutely devastating 21-point haymaker to send Wintero home. It's getting pretty tense here for the top 4.
Yeah, you want to talk about tense? Zex, our admin, is making diamonds in his butt right now.
We also see 3 full-on mage comps for the top 4. The
Also
only
spirits.
deviation being Digi with his Savage Hunter Druid comp.
Savage Hunters versus Mages and Spirits, man. This is almost a dream come true for, I want to say, the Hunters, but God, you never know these days, right?
Anything can happen. And hey, you know what? I was talking down on that Barrels of Fun build with Jewel, but now he's sitting at 3rd place.
Yeah, okay. Will they secure a 3rd? Mutant's triangles were actually pretty good this round up against Digi. Digi actually might lose this go. That Jewel is actually still going, and the spirits are still flopping around. There's no more zombies to come out of this one, so Orbitix will lose 7 from Headers. Headers actually now streaking this late
This
into the
Life
game.
Stealer is enduring. He is just, oh man, Knights of Sidonia playing in the background. No one's going to take him
There's
alive.
no way this happens, right? There's no way this happens. There are so many mangoes. Jewel can't move to get them. Jewel can't get a mango for his life.
Oh, the mango toss from the tree! Are you kidding me? Is this real? No. There's gonna be another zap.
Okay. If that razor didn't seal the deal, that we were in trouble right there.
Top 10 anime fights 2020, let me tell you.
I will never diss the mango tree again.
That was intense. I'm sweating here.
All right, both of our bottom placements won. They didn't win by much, but hey, they won. Orbitix up at 10, even with the extra unit, wasn't able to seal the deal, but Mutant and Headers here didn't get any item upgrades or hero upgrades this round, whereas we now have a 2-star tied for Digi.
Yeah, that could be big if Digi puts in another scaled unit. That's definitely going to help him out a lot against these magic-heavy comps.
Not that he has the money to go to 10, so he'd have to replace someone to do it, but, I mean, scaled is there for that reason. As we say all that, Mutant is really serving a good number up against Orbitix here. The horses have gone back and forth. The triangles kind of whiff. It's not a Bermuda this round. It's more of an isosceles. But Mutant, I still think, has this one in the bag. There's a lot of green still out there. The Eno is now going to be down, and you can't catch these spirits. They're doing well.
Those were maybe the most miserable triangles I've seen recently, and still takes home the W.
Still takes
Mutant
it.
is sitting
Digi
pretty.
got murked. Oh my God, 20 damage or something? What was like?
Headers.
Who has the instant replay? What happened there? Headers
And
is now taking everyone on.
And that's really the strength here that I've been talking about all match of Barrels of Fun. Just a really strong, good.
No,
ability.
you don't get to backtrack on this one, Doc.
I mean, who could say? You know, we could look at the tape, we can point fingers, but the numbers don't lie. Headers is hang on, and it's got to be the Barrels.
Gotta be the barrels. It's not these 6 mages all hiding behind these barricades. Can't be that 2-star Keeper of the Light with another 2-star on the way. Yeah. Not at all. That Sand King got eliminated so quick. There was no corner busting for him. Headers just saying, not today. And now with those horses going through, the silences are enough? Question mark? No, not even. Another 9 dealt to Orbitix. That 10-unit advantage has not paid off whatsoever. Digi and Mutant, though, these two are going neck and neck. 16 to 9. More triangles. Digi's out! Oh, no! Digi 4th place. All the promise, the potential, and he goes out like Anakin. Oh my gosh.
I thought they patched out Fall from Grace, but Digi, what a cratering. Oh my god.
Did not see the 16 health Merc coming his way. Oh.
Devastating stuff. He cannot be happy with that result.
Zex, give us an update, buddy. Digi was first. He had to stay ahead of Mutant. Mutant is now forging ahead. 3 sets of mages have made it to the top.
And Headers' secret sauce, ended up, they were the open forter at the beginning, if memory serves.
Yep, absolutely.
As the 3-star Crystal Maiden with the Stonehall cloak. I mean, that was the turning point,
There's a Lich out here now to go with that Jewel, who's looking very regal in his purple. That's going to be the 3-star CM in the corner with that 2-star Keeper of Light, just looking to throw the damage out, but it's going to be the Razor kind of leading the pack. Double Razors with the CM have certainly done a lot of work. The barrels coming through, that Ogre Mage trying to crack this corner, but just can't seem to do it. The Eidolons actually took the mangoes, but it doesn't even matter. Headers actually kills Orbitix with 20 damage and Mercs Mutant down to 10 for quite the streak here in these end game grand finals.
This comeback is unreal.
That's a double. That's a double keeper, man. Do you throw that in? You absolutely throw that in.
Yeah, double 2-star keeper. That could be the thing that drives this home. Refresher orb on
the silent
on Disruptor. Oh my god, absolutely devastating against a mage comp. Can't have those silences.
This is a 45 kill CM with a cloak, by the way. She ain't no frail 2800 maiden. No, she's a badass warrior maiden of 5k health. That cooldown reduction stays this whole match, my friend. That's going to be Silence 1. Silence 2 kind of misses the mark a little bit. Is this the chance for Mutant to come back in? The double horses are doing work. The barrels are coming through. It's Jewel on Jewel action, but that's another Silence into the back, and now the horses are coming to town. That is it. Headers murked everyone.
What a comeback from worst to first.
7
Unreal.
streak. He went 16-7 and still won. Or sorry, went 9-14 into 16-14 to win.
Unbelievable. All off the back of thick mommy CM with the Stonehall cloak at 3 stars. Crazy stuff here in the finals.
She ain't no Crystal Maiden. That was a Diamond Maiden, man.
Oh my goodness.
You could not bring her down.
I couldn't have asked for anything more for this final match of Season 8.
Okay. Well, the chips are down, ladies and gentlemen. The scoreboard is updated, and Digi, how far hath thee fallen? Drum roll, please, if you could, Donk.
Oh my god. Oh my god, look at the scoreboard.
Headers takes first with 1 point lead, a 4th to 2nd to 2nd to 1st. The open fort strategy still pays off, boys. That's $125 going the way of Headers with that fantastic series of a win. Mutant, because he does plays higher than Digi, outranks him by 3 with a pretty consistent top 3 throughout the entire day. And Digi with the first, 4th. Doesn't quite overtake his opponents. Still goes home with $75 cash, and the rest, as you see, kind of makes up the rest of the top 8 there. But damn, Headers. No one saw that coming.
Headers is the absolute dark horse here. I cannot believe that run. He was hanging out in the basement for so long and just comes back so strong to win the whole season. Unreal.
Pretty
unreal.
Darn good. Now, if we had ranks, this is where we say you are now the Underlord of Season 8, but since we don't have
The
that.
true Lord of White Spire.
Just the champion.
Head
Yeah,
of
true Lord of Whitespire. I like that. It's great. Good job, buddy. He's very happy. He's in chat. Well done. Clappa, clappa, clappa. That was phenomenal last round for you, buddy. So congratulations. We will be in touch with the prizes for all 3 players. Again, 125 US to headers, 75 to mutant, and 50 to Digi. Yeah, that makes sense. $250 prize pool. It adds up. So, yeah, crazy way to go. 5 o'clock. Damn, the games went super quick today, Doc.
Yeah.
And Doc,
In and out.
your first cast for us in the Bay. How you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling great. I could not have asked for a better first cast. What a finals. Like, so much good play, diverse build, comebacks, Cinderella stories, just fantastic stuff.
I can see the glee on your face right now. You're going right to Reddit and you're going to be writing all of this stuff down, right?
Time for another screed. Time for everyone to tell me that I'm wrong. Love it.
Well, I mean, barrels of fun.
Barrels of fun. I mean, hey, I said it right from the jump. Best ability in the game. Jewel, best Underlord. Just, oh, man.
So Jewel does have double first places of the 4 rounds today.
Yeah, again, 100% win rate.
Well, I mean, the other Jewels didn't win, so.
Brain dead pick. I mean, they can't win them all. There can only be one.
We saw some cool stuff today. We saw Spirits get a first place. We saw Brawnies get into a top 4. Don't see that every day. Lots of mages. Some hunters put up some good stuff. We saw a fantastic Wind Ranger game out of Excelsior, right? So good stuff.
A lot of cool low roll strats.
Yeah.
A lot of good 3-star action. We have this sort of boilerplate knights underpinning the whole thing. Just like a really good diverse week. I'm really liking where the meta is right now. It doesn't seem stale or boring. It's good stuff.
When there's no meta, that's the meta. It's great. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Everything works. Okay, guys, we are all set. We're gonna wrap this up. Doc Heckle, thanks so much for coming by. Where can people find you out there if they want to hear more of your lovely voice and analytics?
Well, you can always check out, I post on Reddit a lot, but you can follow me on Twitter at Dr. Heckle, spelled out. You can also catch my stream. I'm on Twitch, on twitch.tv/Dr. Heckle as well. I don't stream too often, but hey, there's never a better time than now. Probably do a lot of streaming, once Season 2 rolls around, getting a feel of the new patch, and yeah, just hit me up. I'm online.
Well, we hope to see more of you around here, Doc. I'm not exactly sure when we'll see more of you. I don't exactly have any kind of announcements about our next set of tournaments, but I can imagine that Season 9 will be unveiled on our Discord. You guys are all part of the UPO Discord, right? If not, it'll be up in the top corner. Join that link, hit us up in the chat, and get yourself involved. It's a good time over here at UPO. And if it's not going to be Dota Underlords, then, whatever we do announce next, hope you guys will be part of it. So I've been Forecourt Jester, your friend and host here with Doc. Find me out there, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Forecourt Jester. Always happy to talk Underlords. And that means we are out, Doc. Good game, well played. Congratulations, Season 8. We'll see you guys for Season 9. Let's go say hi to Digi and lament that he only got 3rd. See you later.